up on your favorite wines, or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
Hi, this is Lori from Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC, and boiler mechanics, we've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals, we make it our business to put you to work.
In Gyms, locally owned in the Mohawk Valley for over 100 years. We specialize in hardwood flooring, carpeting, area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate flooring, and waterproof vinyl flooring. We can custom cut and bind area rugs to fit any size room. It's a great time to get your house ready for the holidays with new carpeting and durable hardwood flooring. In Gyms Flooring America, call 315-733-0421 or online at ingyms.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Good morning. That piece of garbage, Tom Brady.
It's just, and if you look, too, they have struggled so much offensively. They're entering the game last night, and they looked like they were going to be 5-7, but they were 5-6 last night. I mean, can you remember the last time Tom Brady was under 500?
And I got to say, they couldn't move the ball against New Orleans. New Orleans was way up. They should have won that game by like 30 points. And then all of a sudden, on comes Brady. And all of a sudden, the Saints can't do anything. And he came, a piece of junk came back.
It's incredible, yeah. So Brady gets the comeback victory, 2 touchdowns at the end. I was almost thinking there was a game decades ago where, and it wasn't as much of a difference in points, but like with 10 minutes left in the game, Peyton Manning led the Colts on a 3-touchdown come-from-behind win on Monday night over I think it was the Bears. But it was like, the game was clearly lost. They were just kind of winding down the clock, and late touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a one-score game, and then he got it in for the win at the end. Look,
and there's something to be said for momentum. Momentum is a very powerful thing. And when a team in sports seems to get momentum, wow.
There was a play with approximately 7 minutes left. It was a 4th and 10, and it looked like the Bucs were going to go for it. And then there was like a little bit of a delay, and Todd Bowles, the head coach in Tampa, decided, no, we're going to punt. And Brady was like, what do you mean we're going to punt? We're going to punt. If they get a couple first downs, the game's over. And sure enough, they forced a 3-and-out, got the ball back. I thought it was the wrong decision. I think Todd Bowles is way too conservative offensively. I thought they should have went for it. As it worked out, they got the punt, 3-and-out, touchdown, 3-and-out, touchdown, game over. Wow.
Yeah. Here's the final call.
It's 3rd down. Underneath, and touchdown, Rachaad White. Tom Brady's only NFL win after trailing by 13 or more points in the 4th quarter was against the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. 44th career comeback in the 4th quarter or overtime. the most all-time now, breaking that tie with Peyton Manning. And if you want to know why a guy like Brady, who at 45 in his 23rd year won't retire, it's games like this.
No question.
I mean, that is as exhilarating as it must get.
Yeah, must be nice.
Well, what he just said there was the reason I was shocked when he had retired there initially from Tampa Bay was because they had that incredible comeback in the NFC Championship game, and ultimately they came up short. But I thought there's no way he'll leave like that. And another great comeback for them.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 6th, and I have something very special to give away this morning.
Yes, you do.
In a little while, we're going to tell you how we're going to do that. But, Davey, tonight at the Carrier Dome, Syracuse basketball has a busy week. They play Saturday at the Dome in a game that will be televised on ABC against Georgetown. But tonight, who do they play tonight, Davey?
They play Oakland tonight.
Okay, don't talk negatively about it because you're not going to believe this, but I do. I have tickets for tonight's game.
Oh, wow, I should have known.
Tickets for tonight's game. These are great seats. Section 114, row 8. So these are good seats.
Hey, now.
And they come from our man, Joe Lode, who said, I just want them to go to someone who will enjoy them. And later in this hour, I'm going to tell you how you'll be able to win these tickets. And that's coming up.
Thank you, Joe.
I shouldn't be playing the pedophile song.
Is that what that is?
Well, that Gary Glitter got himself into a lot of trouble. Remember that? Sexual trouble.
Well, see, look,
But it's a great song.
yeah, I guess it's a little different when it's a song.
Sorry.
I'm always bothered when it's like a movie where they're like, oh, this director did something horrible, so we can never show the movie again. It's like, well, what about all the other actors who are relying on...
That's true. And there are other musicians, think about it. There's other musicians in that song as well.
That's true.
Real quick to get back to Syracuse, the tip-off is an early game. It's 6 o'clock.
That is a 6 o'clock game tonight?
And
okay.
It's on the ACC network.
So if you'd like to go to that game, be ready. I have great seats for tonight, and I'll tell you in a little while how we're gonna walk away winners of that whole thing.
That is awesome. So, and keep in mind, if you're playing to win, it's an early start, so you might have to bop out of work a little early tonight, or this afternoon.
Oxford Dictionaries has named their word of the year. This is a really interesting one. We'll speak with Tanya Powers on that coming up. Dr. Kent Hall is on today. A lot of questions out there about should I or should I not get the flu shot? Should I or should I not get the latest COVID vaccine? Because the latest one is getting some high reviews. One of them, anyways. And should I at age 50 get the shingles? And I've watched my wife go through that. So my answer to that shingles vaccine is yes. But we'll speak with Dr. Hall about those things. If you have any questions, he's on in the 7 o'clock hour.
So, and certainly Dr. Hall can shed more light on this, but obviously shingles is not like chickenpox. I mean, literally when I was a kid, and I think I mentioned this to somebody who is probably 10 or 12 years younger than me, and they kind of gave me the look like, wait a minute, what did you guys do? The chickenpox party? That was a thing when you were a kid, right?
No.
We didn't actually do it, but we talked about doing it.
It was a little more, I'd say it wasn't for me as a kid because we never did it. However, we didn't have to. It just spread.
Yeah.
However, I do remember it in the 70s being a thing. 70s and 80s. It's like, all right, everybody, we're going to, so-and-so has chickenpox, so let's get it out of the way. And there'd be the shingles is certainly, you don't do that with the shingles. And the shingles is not contagious unless you're a pregnant woman or a young child who's not had the chickenpox or somebody that hasn't had the chickenpox. And even then, you wouldn't get shingles. You would get chickenpox. But in some cases, that chickenpox can be pretty bad. So we'll speak to Dr. Hall about that coming up in a second, a little while. And also, Andre Reed, Buffalo Bills, Andre Reed, coming to a local establishment, Hall of Frames. And we'll speak with Tom Napoli coming up later on this morning about that and a whole bunch more for Tuesday morning.
Has he had Reed before? He brings in guys, a lot, and big name players. Current players, former players.
I don't think Reed has been here before.
Reed hasn't been here, but Jim Ronanelli, who's seen Andre Reed before.
Yeah.
He brings some, Tom brings always some great names and does a great job with that. So we'll chat with him. Today is National Microwave Day. Do you remember when you got your first microwave oven? Or was it just a thing for you? Being younger, Manaski, you may have been it's like having a broom in the house. Yep, we have the microwave.
So I actually have a very distinct memory about this.
About getting a microwave?
Yeah, my grandmother. My grandmother had gotten a microwave, and here's why I remember this, because I believe it was a guy who was like I'm going to say Sears, but I don't know what the big box store was, but basically he was like the Sears installer guy. So he comes, he brings in the microwave, sets it up, and it was like a test. And I was in the kitchen, and I'm watching it, right, because it just looks like, to me, a giant TV screen with a door on the front of it. And I'll never forget to this day. I was actually talking to somebody about this yesterday. Don't look directly into it. Do not look directly into it. He scolded me. Do not stare at that. You can get cancer from it.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, he told me not to look into the microwave while it was cooking. I could get cancer from it.
His better advice should have been don't climb into it and turn it on. Yeah. Don't put the cat in it, whatever you do, please.
Did they tell you stuff like that when your family first got one?
Ours was just like, you can put the ho-ho in, but don't put the wrapper. That's what we so it was always my uncle that would get the new gadgets, the new things. So it would be like an event. I mean, I remember when our neighbor got her first color television, and it was a big deal because Wizard of Oz was on, and we were all invited to the house to watch black and white turn into color, and it was in living color with the peacock and all that. That was pretty cool.
And if I'm not mistaken,
and it took us still a few years before we had gotten a color television. Think about that for a second.
Who were your neighbors? The Joneses?
A color television, right? We had to. Yes, you have to keep up with the Joneses. But think about that. Many of us over the age of 50, even in some cases over the age of 40, would remember having a black and white where you could buy the difference between you could buy a black and white or a color TV. And the color TV was the thing of the future. Big deal.
And that's you're saying only 40 years ago?
I'd say that was early 70s. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So about 50 years. With Wizard of Oz, part of the movie was in color, right? Not the whole thing. Is it
Correct.
only when they get to Oz?
When they come in on the yellow brick road, they get out of the forest, and all of a sudden it would turn to color. Today you could see the whole thing in color. I think if they show it today, it's usually the whole thing is in color. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I don't watch that movie to even know, but I do remember that when they came into the Oz, the land of Oz, out of the woods, the scary woods, then there was color. Do you remember it that way, Davey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds confident.
The first time you ever saw, now in today's world, the first time you ever saw a flat screen full HD picture, did that it was noticeable to my eye? Like, oh my gosh, I can see the guy's pores on the screen.
Well, when we went to high definition, I mean, we've seen so many new innovations. It's like old hat today. You saw the iPhone before the iPhone ever existed, and now all of a sudden people have an iPhone. You remember that first person that walked into your life and had an iPhone? It's like, wow, you have the iPhone. I got my iPod over here. This is a beauty.
Yeah,
or I had what was the phone that had the keyboard on it?
Was it the BlackBerry?
The BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry, which was the precursor to that. And the BlackBerry, you could if you really knew what you were doing, you could put a song on, but it would play in mono. And I'm like, I can play songs on my BlackBerry. That was exciting. But seeing that first microwave oven was also a big deal. And today it's kind of old. It's old hat. I don't know. The air fryer didn't pull out the same type of excitement as the microwave did.
No.
Kirstie Alley died yesterday. Sad. I didn't even know that she had been sick. A day after what her family described as a short battle with cancer. It must have been very fast moving. She was 71. Best known for playing Rebecca on Cheers. Her films included Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Drop Dead Gorgeous, and Look Who's Talking in the movies. Here's a classic scene of when Diane and Rebecca would finally meet on Cheers. They were having dinner with dates. Rebecca was with Sam and lied about what she did for a living. Here we go.
So, Rebecca, tell us about yourself. Sam never mentioned what you do.
I am a corporate attorney with the firm Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're a pretty famous group. Listen,
Also, in 2005, she was on Oprah and explaining how Oprah saved her life.
you sort of saved my life. Seriously, because remember I had, at John Travolta's birthday party, I'd started smoking. And the day I did your show, you said that you quit eating a lot and changed your life because you had heart palpitations.
Yes.
So when I left here, I thought, oh my God, I'm smoking and I'm fat. These heart palpitations are just around the corner.
Yeah.
So I actually stayed in Chicago after the show, and I stayed here for like, I think 5 or 6 days, held up in the Four Seasons, and I quit smoking. And
Well, ultimately, it was cancer that did her in, sadly.
If I'm not confusing her with somebody else, she's the first actress I associate with fat shaming, in that she was known for like blowing up, right, and then getting back in shape, and then blowing up.
Yeah, I think maybe. I think there might have been a little of that.
And I remember people saying like, "Oh, it's so horrible to."
She was big boned, they would say. She was, but beautiful, and
yeah.
And at times in her life, very, very tiny, like very
absolutely.
thin. So maybe there was a yo-yo type effect there. Kathy is in Rome. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning. I have to ask you, Bill, yesterday I heard on the news, and I was going around the corner, so I didn't hear the whole thing. Something about a new income tax form to catch tax cheaters from the government. Do you know anything about it? Maybe you could ask somebody who would know.
Yeah. So what is? So it's a form that catches cheaters. Well, I
think so. It's a new tax form that I don't know if it's based on if you earn a certain amount of interest up to a certain amount or what. But there was something about a new form to catch people.
Okay. All right. We'll look into that.
All right. Thank you so much.
I tell you this, I'm not using that form. Are you? Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I found here on a quick Google search is there is a form called 3949A where you can refer information to the IRS if you think somebody is a tax cheat.
They're a tax cheat.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was something new that everybody was going to have to file.
I hope this doesn't turn into the type of thing where, Miss Nosy Posey is like, they didn't get that house on their own. How could you get that house and sell slices of pizza? Really? Are you kidding me?
It's getting real bad. It's almost, you kind of forget sometimes that you're living in the USA.
Well, I mean, if people are cheating on their taxes, it's probably something that is right. I mean, you want people, especially if you're not cheating on your taxes and you're doing your thing, and then
you want everybody to pay their fair share.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's cheating, then they ought to call that that's NRAC form 201, NARC form 201, right? They're asking for you to be a Tattletale 22. This is Tattletale 22.
Oh, well, I guess I don't have to worry about filling that form out. Thank you, Bill.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much.
There's the 501c for the non-for-profits, and
that's right.
There's also the form NARC.
NARC.
That's very good, Bill.
And, Kathy, you won't have to worry about it. I mean, you wouldn't certainly fill it out on yourself, right? It's like, all right, I admit it. I've been cheating on my taxes.
Speaking of taxes, by the way, if you're expecting a tax refund in 2023, it may be smaller than expected, according to the IRS. Typically, you get a federal refund when you've overpaid yearly taxes or withheld more than you owe. Your annual balance is based on a taxable income calculated by subtracting the greater standard of itemized deductions, yada, yada, yada. Our IRS officials said refunds may be smaller in 2023. They will not receive an additional stimulus with the 2023 refund because there was no economic impact payments in 2022. So not less than a normal year per se, but those who were accustomed to getting an additional benefit because we were going through COVID and they were handing out money like it was water.
I will. That's interesting. I will, as I said, tell you in a little while how we're going to give you a chance to win tickets to see the Syracuse game tonight. And that Syracuse basketball, we have great seats, courtesy of Joe Lode. And we'll give you that chance, explain how you'll have that chance coming up in a few minutes. So stand by for that. One other quickie I wanted to mention, an iconic piece of classic rock memorabilia sold at auction recently. Somebody purchased Mick Fleetwood's wooden balls from the cover of Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album for $128,000. Items belonging to bandmates John and Christy McVie were also sold, and a recent passing most likely drove up prices.
Sure.
And then, since the passing of Christy McVie, classic rock fans are saddened that we'll never see the most famous lineup of Fleetwood Mac live ever again. It's one of those bands that I've never seen live, and my wife and I were planning, at some point in the next couple of years to get out and see the band somewhere, and now you never will. If you're wondering, the last time that happened, it was their 2014-15 tour when they played. This is a little clip from 2015. Sometimes when you hear stuff live, it's like, ugh.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to disrespect you in your fandom of Fleetwood Mac.
The mix just doesn't sound great. Christine would return to play a few songs on Fleetwood Mac's last tour, but Lindsay had been fired from the group and replaced by then. She and Lindsay also toured together in 2017. So if you do see Fleetwood Mac, you will not be seeing, of course, the full band, even more than Christy McVie. Tanya J. Powers standing by on the line right now. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning.
I saved that story with you in mind because I know you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, and I have to tell you, I went out and I searched for that amazing podcast, 22 minutes long, and I listened to it the other night. It was really, really good. It's explaining, from the band's perspective, from Lindsey Buckingham's perspective. It was really a great podcast.
Yeah, I thought they did a wonderful job taking apart not only the song but telling about everything that went behind it and everything. It was really good. I was lucky enough to be in the room in 2019 when the rest of Fleetwood Mac was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, forced to support Stevie Nicks when she was inducted.
Right.
As a solo artist, and they all came back into the press room. There was a lot of buzz in the press room, and I looked up, and they're all standing there on the little riser for people to take pictures of. We're like, oh,
wow.
Oh my gosh! Because immediately when I saw Mick Fleetwood, I'm like, yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah,
that's on the side, and
that's one of those. And think about that. That moment will never happen again.
No.
So. Wow, that's pretty cool. It does pay to be a Fox News radio reporter, does it not?
Yes, in many different ways.
So that certainly is a great way to get in the door. That's really, really cool. Anyway, what was the podcast? My retention is horrific, but I remembered enough to be able to find it. What's the name of the podcast again?
It's called Song Exploder, and it's a whole series. They have different seasons. The Song Exploder is the name of it, and it's hosted by Rishikesh Hirway, and it's just Google Song Exploder. That's the easiest way to find it.
Yeah,
it's
really
on Spotify and all kinds of stuff. But, he takes apart some really interesting songs and gets the story behind them, from the people who were actually doing them, and putting them together and writing them and all. It's quite interesting.
And let me tell you, that band lived the life. And there was drama.
Ooh, yeah.
Drama in Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Okay, Oxford has now come out with their word of the year, and I think the word of the year we had from another one last week gaslighting had us all baffled. And if that didn't baffle you, wait till this one.
Never heard of this one.
Me either. I'm completely baffled. The word of the year is...
Well, this is from Oxford English Dictionary. Each year they come out with, their word of the year. This one is goblin mode.
Goblin.
And if you're like,
goblin
what
mode.
is goblin mode? The definition is a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations. What they do is, when they name a word of the year, that means it reflected the kind of the mood of the past 12 months. This time that they did a little something different. They narrowed it down to 3, and they let the public decide and put it up for like a public vote. Usually they just say, this is the word, that's it. Like last year's word was vax.
Vax, right. That makes sense. Yeah.
For Oxford, Oxford's word. But it's kind of, if you're still having trouble getting your head around this, what it basically means is you see on social media, everybody curates the best possible version of themselves, right?
Right.
We show ourselves, having our self-care moments and having our, specially curated meal prep and all the cool things we're doing to, okay, this is what I'm doing to better myself. These are the pictures you don't see where you're just, you're in your 8th hour of binge watching something on Netflix and there's chip bags around you on the couch and you're just like, I'm still in my pajamas and I do not care. That's what that is.
So let's see. Was it Hassel? Who was the one? No, it was Was it Alec Baldwin that was caught with the burger on the floor, and he was drunk, calling his daughter really bad names?
I'm pretty sure that was who that was.
I think it was. That would have been he was in goblin mode. Would you say?
He was definitely in a mode, all right.
Yeah.
But yes. This would be like, it encourages people to lean into their, uncurated, sometimes mischievous ways where, you're not necessarily, out there doing the best things. You're kind of like, it's you've got your guilty pleasures going on. These are the pictures you don't normally put on social media.
All right. Yeah.
I do have to run, guys, but
thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, that's what goblin mode is. In case you're not familiar with it.
You run. We'll continue in our little goblin mode here in the studio. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
I thought it was more of like a gobble like turkey, like, oh, I was gobbling up that apple pie.
I've never heard of it before. I mean, the gaslighting thing I think that you hear a lot of that, people talking about on programs, TV shows, but goblin mode I've never heard of. But there's a lot of that. I mean, the way she described it, there's a lot of that in the world, right?
Especially post-COVID, right?
Yeah,
I mean, people and I'm guilty of this too. Sweatpants are not an appropriate work attire.
Right. Mike says it's a new law that any payments primarily to a company of $600 or over will now be reported to the IRS. It's not meant to catch people who give money, for example, to a loved one. We saw that change, and it was brought down to $600, which covers an awful lot, right?
Yeah.
That's why I have somebody do my taxes, because you can't keep up with this stuff. I used to try to do it on use the website, or you could go buy the program and do your own. Holy cow. I mean, if you're just filing an easy 1040 easy or whatever it is, I guess that's probably okay. But if you're filing long form, how you do that on your own it's pretty tough.
Now, I've heard that one of the changes, now maybe this is what Kathy was talking about, but for instance, if you sell items on Google, eBay, not Google, eBay, what's the auction? eBay's one of them. There's another one I'm forgetting.
You're gonna on any of those services that exchange money, those have all been really allowed to go by the wayside. And PayPal would be another example where PayPal basically works hand in hand with eBay, but you can use those services outside and away from eBay as well. But if you're exchanging money electronically, that stuff all has to now be reported.
Interesting, yeah. So
it actually probably should have been reported before, but they're gonna be looking for it.
Yeah. So if you're selling, you find an old table that you find at a yard sale, and you fix it up and you sell it for more. It used to be basically kind of not that it was supposed to be free income, not taxable income, but now they're actually tracking it and keeping a better eye on it.
Manaski mentioned this earlier. The Buffalo Bills game against Miami coming up in Week 15, so that's 3 weeks away, right?
Next weekend.
No, it's
2
next-
weeks. It's not this coming weekend.
Next weekend.
It's the following weekend. So that game has now been moved to a Saturday.
They do not like to have the Buffalo Bills playing on Sunday. They just don't like it.
This year, Buffalo, Sunday at 1, those two things have not gone hand in hand. Anyway, that's 2 weeks away.
They flexed 3 games, by the way. I do have an issue with this as a sports fan, not that I've been to an NFL game in a long time. But consider this, Bill. Say you were going to that game, and I don't even know where it is.
And you made plans.
Right? You're like, oh, listen, Saturday we got the family coming in. Sunday morning we're going to ride out to Buffalo. I'm assuming the game's in Buffalo, but wherever it is,
hotel, you
get my point.
Yeah.
Now it's slid a whole 24 hours ahead.
Yep.
To me, really throw
it would be better. I would rather be in Buffalo on a Saturday to have the travel day be Sunday, as opposed to be in Buffalo on a Sunday and have the travel day be Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a good point.
Hate that drive home after a Bills game. Love watching from my house. New York State Thruway authorities approved their motion to move a proposed toll hike on tolls. Well, listen to me. You're not going to get any hike this year. So 2023 is basically set. But you will see the increase come in 2024. And the increase, if you have Easy Pass, will be very little. Like if you're...
I think 5%.
If you're traveling from Albany to Buffalo, it'll cost you about 60 cents. That would cost you about 60 cents more. If you are not Easy Pass, you're going to be charged a lot. It's like a major increase.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean you'll pay I don't know $12 more, $10 more, something like that than you would have. It's a major increase for those who do not have Easy Pass because now they have to mail it to you. So all of those expenses, really they're pushing people to say, hey, if you want to get on the thruway, get an Easy Pass.
So what is Albany to Buffalo? Like $12? If it's a 60%?
I have no clue. I don't know what it is anymore. But it's a report I was watching last night that said it'll cost you about 60 cents additional from Albany to Buffalo.
Yeah. So
for an Easy Pass user. But anybody else, if you're expecting it to be mailed to you, it's going to be a lot more. Those rates will go into effect January 1st, 2024, if approved. Most likely it will be approved.
Yeah.
And the talk on the report that I saw yesterday, by the way, non-Easy Pass is like a 75% increase. Think about that.
That's incredible.
But the talk that I was hearing about, the defense that the state is giving, is you have a road that's not funded by taxpayers. The New York State Thruway is funded by the people who use it, and for people who complain, which we all do, it's like, boy, they're just ripping us off, right? They said it was going to be a free highway, and it isn't. We're really better off with the fact that it isn't, because if you don't use it, you don't pay. If you use it, you pay. And the other part of this is people from out of state also use it. So we're collecting basically taxes to pay for that highway on people that don't even live here. So ultimately, when you look at the way that process works, you're better off than just being taxed.
Doing some quick math in my head, I'm still stuck on the rate increase because at a 5% increase, if you're saying it equals 60 cents, that's approximately, I'm going to give or take here, but if you do $12 times a 5% increase, that's where you get your 60 cents.
Okay.
That's for Easy Pass. Now, that's Albany to Buffalo. So you're saying a 75% increase, so we're going to do $12, just 0.75.
It's got Jeff coughing
up some extra money.
Coughing up a lung here. Hacking up a lung.
If it's $12 Buffalo to Albany without Easy Pass, a 75% increase is another $9. So it'd be $21.
I may have read that incorrectly. So listen, this is specifically what they're saying.
All right.
Tolls by mail are current. You can figure it out this way.
Yep.
So you are correct, I think, in your math. Tolls by mail are currently 30% higher than Easy Pass users currently.
Okay.
going forward, starting in 2024, they will be 75% higher. So there's your There's your money. There's your $20.
100. Well, so think of that. If it's $12 to go Buffalo to Albany, and that's what you've been paying for the last few years, that sounds about right. I want to say in my mind I had $10.50, $10.35 in my mind is what you'd pay that Buffalo Albany stretch. Again, that's a few years back. So let's say $12. You'd be paying now $21 instead of $12.
The Mario Cuomo Bridge, formerly the Tappan Zee Bridge, will increase to $7.75 by 2027. So, and you think about it, every time you hit all right, we're going to take the West Side Highway down. So I'm going down the Hudson Parkway. You're whacked with fees there, and by the time, and now they want to, if you go below, I don't know, 40th Street in Manhattan, they want to hit you with a tax within Manhattan. So just driving around, it's almost as if they're saying, we don't want you driving anymore. But as for the Thruway, I would rather have people using it pay, including people from out of state, than have it added to a gas tax or added to your state taxes. I think we're better off in that way.
You know, the $20 is the highest charge. Whiteface Mountain Veteran Memorial Highway, the George Washington Bridge now up to $13.75 currently. I mean, that's you just go one way on that. You know what I mean? Like I've gone down for a Mets game. You go through a booth. I don't even think the bridge is that long. Boom. It's almost $15.
Another story, interesting, I thought. Over the next year, New York State likely will see thousands of lawsuits filed by victims of sex crimes under a new law that has temporarily lifted the statute of limitations on such lawsuits. Some of the lawsuits will be filed by victims who experienced sexual abuse decades ago. This Adult Survivors Act allows people who were the victims of sex crimes to file lawsuits against their abusers and any institutions that perpetrate you know what I'm trying to say, abuse that occurred in New York State, regardless of when it occurred. The governor signed the legislation into law May 24th, but the one-year window to file a lawsuit started on Thanksgiving. Imagine being in a situation where, A, you're trying to prove a case from decades ago.
Right.
Or B, you're trying to disprove a case from decades ago. Imagine that will not be easy.
No. I mean,
however, it does open the door. The law is similar to the state's Child Victims Act, which was passed in 2019, allowed a 2-year window for people who suffered sexual abuse as children to file civil lawsuits regardless of when the abuse occurred. And that's one of those things. It's like, why didn't the person come forward? Well, unless you've been sexually abused as a child or as a female or whatever the scenario is, unless you're in their shoes, it's kind of hard for us to say, well, you should have come forward. Why didn't you come forward?
Right.
So it is what it is. But under this new law, the window began on Thanksgiving, and it could go back decades. It's going to be kind of interesting. Lawyers are expecting big numbers on this, and a lot of people to file suit.
And the church, I would imagine, will be targeted, right?
I think that door has already been open, and that's another situation. People who were abused by a priest or by a Boy Scout leader or whatever, that door was open, and I feel like it should be.
I agree.
Again, difficult to prove, though. Stores are beginning to install beer and alcohol refrigerators that force you to scan your ID in order to open the door. Wait till you see this coming to your grocery store. Here is someone going through the process of opening up one of these in-store beer refrigerators.
So I never seen this. Check it. These doors don't open. None of the liquor. Put your ID and press scan. It starts scanning your ID. Once it's done scanning, it says what door. I want the Bud Light door.
You ever go into a grocery store at night when they have their money-saving option in play, and you're walking down a grocery store aisle, and you're the only one in the aisle, and as you walk down, it's almost like you're appearing at the Grammys. The lights begin to come on one after another, like a domino effect as you're walking down the aisle. I feel like, ta-da!
I'm here!
Here I am to save the day and get my ice cream. that my wife asked for at midnight. Got a break, and we'll come right back here for a Tuesday morning on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
The polls are just now opening in Georgia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. For the last 2022 election, the runoff between Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker.
Who all has voted already? Oh.
Voting on Election Day is a must for Walker, and he said so on his Evict Warnock tour. More than 1.8 million Georgians have already voted in the runoff. We know turnout does decrease for these races, and Democrats are known to vote early, with Republicans turning out largely on Election Day.
He's been running over a year for an office, and he had told us what he would do if he had it.
A quick jab from Warnock at an event with a local union Monday morning.
That's Alex Whitler with Fox 5 TV in Atlanta. A Walker win would keep the Senate a 50-50 split in the next Congress. If Warnock's reelected, Democrats get more power and a majority. A late-night shootout in Tennessee has left a Memphis police officer wounded in critical condition. The gunman was killed in return fire. As Russia keeps attacking Ukraine, Ukraine is fighting back across the border with apparent drone strikes. One hit an airport in Russia today.
Ukraine hasn't formally confirmed carrying out the drone strikes, but yesterday Moscow said 2 air bases were hit, and the governor in the Kursk region said another attack took place there early on Tuesday. If confirmed, it would be an escalation of Ukrainian attempts to defend their territory. One of the airfields hit houses long-range bombers capable of carrying nuclear weapons.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. It was another dark, cold night for tens of thousands in Moore County, North Carolina, where they keep trying to repair damage done in a weekend attack on power substations. The FBI is helping look for whoever did it. Actress Kirstie Alley has died, a star on the TV show Cheers and in the Look Who's Talking movies.
He looks like his father.
I thought you said you were officially inseminated.
I was, but I never make that face, so I assume his father does.
Alley was 71 and had battled cancer. America's listening to Fox News.
I've told you about my lower back pain and how kneeling in church on Sunday was becoming nearly unbearable. Sebastian Gorka here. I've also told you about how Relief Factor has helped almost eliminate my pain. Now, let me tell you what Robert in California says about his experience with Relief Factor. Robert writes, I didn't think Relief Factor was working until I ran out mid-month. After about 3 days, the pain was back to where it started. It was a great test for me to see how much Relief Factor really works. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing and living the life you love. Your first step to becoming pain-free from aches and pains from daily living could be just to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out about this offer. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor.
A few clouds, 37 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by the law offices of William Mattar. Hurt in a car, call William Mattar. An investigation underway into a crash in Oneida County that has left a woman in critical condition. State police say 21-year-old Emma Paduri was pulling out of her driveway on Route 8 in the town of Bridgewater. When the two-vehicle accident happened, Paduri had to be airlifted to a Syracuse hospital. Again, she's listed in critical condition. State police still investigating. The driver of the other vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Members of the New York State Thruway Authority taking the first steps toward increasing tolls for drivers. Yesterday, the authority's board of directors approved a proposal to increase tolls for Easy Pass customers by 5% in 2024 and another 5% in 2027. Those who choose to pay their tolls by mail would also be handing over more money. A final decision on any increases likely won't be made for several months. Speaking of the roads, a judge agreeing to modify a restraining order that was put in place to prevent any work from being done on the Interstate 81 project in Syracuse. The judge saying the State Department of Transportation now can do the paperwork necessary to award the first construction contract. However, no physical work can be done until a lawsuit that is aimed at blocking the project is resolved. The next court hearing for that lawsuit is scheduled for January 12th. The group bringing the lawsuit is called Interstate 81 for all. Rotterdam police continuing to investigate a hit-and-run accident in the town that left a man seriously injured. 27-year-old Joseph Galea was found laying in the area of the roadway with injuries consistent with having been struck by a vehicle. It's believed he was hit between 10 p.m. Saturday night and 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. Mega Millions jackpot up again. No one won the jackpot on the most recent drawing. It's now grown to $354 million. Of course, tickets are $2. This evening's drawing will be streamed live at megamillions.com. And officials in Oswego County, Bill, I know this doesn't affect most of our listening area, but I did find it interesting because you might find something on social media that makes people worried. So they're going to be testing the sirens at the nuclear plants out in Oswego County. I don't know if you know they have nuclear plants out there.
Yeah.
They have 40 sirens that will be heard from around 1 p.m. this afternoon through the afternoon within a 10-mile radius of the plants. There's also single siren tests they'll be doing. Those who hear the sirens should not be alarmed. You do not need to take any action. So if your cousin, nephew, aunt posts on social media, I'm hearing this siren coming from the nuclear plant, don't panic. They're just doing some testing out there today. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast brought to you by Nothing Bundt Cakes in New Hartford. Sweeten your holiday with decorated bundt cakes, festive buntinis, and giftable buntlets. Order online at nothingbundtcakes.com. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a warm-up, and we do have some rain showers in the forecast, however. A slight chance of a rain-snow mix early this morning, then rain showers this afternoon, a high of 47 degrees. We have showers likely overnight tonight as well with a low of 45. Rain in the forecast continuing Monday, otherwise cloudy, a high of 53. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 45. Sunshine returns for Friday and a high of 42. Bill, we have cloudy skies, a few clouds, I should say, 37 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:07.
All right, so we can talk about last night's Monday Night Football game. Tom Brady engineered a fourth-quarter comeback as the Buccaneers stormed back to stun the Saints 17-16 in Tampa. Brady threw a go-ahead 6-yard touchdown pass with 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and came after Brady connected with Cade Otton with 3 minutes remaining to cut the deficit to 16-10. Tampa Bay has won 3 of 4 to improve their record to 6-6. And as you said, Tampa Bay is at 500. Brady is at 500. Big news for the New York Mets. The Mets, Phillies, and Dodgers were among teams to make big splashes on Monday. New York reportedly landed American League Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander on a 2-year deal, while the Phillies signed shortstop Trey Turner to a massive 11-year deal. That's worth over $300 million.
That's where he went? Oh, we talked about it was 11 years. I didn't know he went to Philly.
And the Dodgers officially inked left-hander Clayton Kershaw to a 1-year contract.
Turner's great.
Yeah, I know. On that Mets deal, Davey, his wife or girlfriend comes along. Is it his girlfriend?
No, it's his wife, Kate Upton.
Kate Upton. Wow. She's going to love New York.
See how many camera shots they show of her in the first when they do her first start.
Sure. Baker Mayfield released by the Carolina Panthers. College, what is this? The college basketball poll? Top 25 coaches poll.
Yeah.
The Houston Cougars still first after receiving 21 of 31 first-place votes. Texas, Virginia remain second and third, respectively. And college basketball tonight at 6 p.m. on the ACC network. Syracuse hosts Oakland at the Dome. I have a pair of tickets to give away from Joe Lode. And here's how we're going to do it. At some point, this is the only time I'm going to announce this. Please only call if you want the tickets. But at some point this morning, out of my mouth will come the word Boeheim. And if I use his name at any point, immediately be the first caller through the phone lines, and the tickets for tonight from Joe Lode are yours. So if I use that name at any point going forward, be the first caller. I might do it inadvertently by mistake.
I know.
That's possible.
I'm expecting
It's
that's
possible.
what's going to happen.
You think that's going to happen?
Yes.
It could. Anyway, Syracuse plays Oakland tonight at the Dome, and we have your tickets. Men's hockey, Division III. Utica is now ranked number 2 nationwide. They're 8-2-1. They move up from number 3 to number 2. And
Fear the Moose.
Hobart is ranked number 1 in Division III men's hockey.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
They're
one-
undefeated, by the way, 10-0.
One note on the Mets signing of Justin Verlander. Smitty, you led me down the wrong path here. I've got, based on my numbers, I've got Verlander's 39 and Scherzer's 38.
They'll be close to 80, they said.
Oh, I thought you said they'd be over 80.
I said close to 80.
Okay, well, combined age of 77. Our top 2 starters combined age 77.
Actually, what's really amazing, if you combine all the ages of the entire Mets roster, it's over 1,322. Can you believe it?
And another sports story he forgot to say, the Yankees re-signed Brian Cashman.
Oh, they did. That's nice. Michael this morning says, if you want to save money not using Easy Pass, you can drive Route 20. It'll only take you 12 hours to drive from Albany to Buffalo. And that is true. That's the old way. That's the way it used to be done long before the thruway. We have a lot to do. Dr. Kent Hall coming up in a few. Hobica's free money question of the day. SU basketball coach Jim, you know who he is. We're going to talk about that coming up because they have a big game tonight at the Dome, Davey. And we have your tickets sometime this hour. 7-11 at WIBX.
Injury crash, 2-door, 4-door, SUV, motorcycle, big truck. At William Attar, we're New York's largest motor vehicle accident firm, helping those injured in New York State. If a crash caused the death of a loved one, call William Attar, the largest motor vehicle accident firm in the state. Call William Attar, 315-444-4444, South State Street, Syracuse, 315-444-4444.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
Get your home ready for the holidays with Adirondack Home Furniture. With free local delivery, sale prices on in-stock items and special orders, and a knowledgeable staff, your home will be ready for the holidays in no time. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality, USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Create your dream home for the holidays and beyond with Adirondack Home Furniture. Entertaining this year? Well, entertain in style with a beautiful top-quality sofa from Smith Brothers Furniture. Looking for a new recliner for that someone on your list? They have a large variety of power flex steel recliners and lift chairs in stock. Stop in today to Adirondack Home Furniture and get your home ready for the holidays. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and home office, you'll find everything on your holiday list at Adirondack Home Furniture, Riverside Center in North Utica, or browse our inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Adirondack Home Furniture, helping you get your home ready for the holidays.
Celebrate the season with Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in downtown Utica on Saturday, December 10th. Take 3, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, brings holiday favorites like All I Want for Christmas Is You and Silent Night to the museum for a festive concert played by pop classical instrumentalists. Tickets are on sale now at mwpai.org or 315-797-0055.
High-quality care comes from the compassionate, the courageous, the dedicated nurses and support staff of the Mohawk Valley Health System. Every day, the members of the MVHS team make a difference in our community's health. MVHS is looking for dedicated people to join this exceptional group of employees to care for our patients, residents, and their friends and family. We offer competitive pay, a generous benefit package, and many career options where you can grow. We've increased pay rates for critical jobs, offer reimbursement to become certified in select jobs, and provide sign-on bonuses for certain positions. And now, We're redefining healthcare and health careers in our community with New York's newest hospital opening next year. Join the MVHS team and be part of an organization that takes care of our community. Visit careers.mvhealthsystem.org for more information. Mohawk Valley Health System. Unrivaled care. Unrivaled careers. This is for you.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. Saving money, that's what it's all about, so we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. Hey, you can even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines. Or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, the official copy of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella and everybody at Daylight. If you're thinking about those snowflake rolls, you want to get on the list. And then you'll pull up and you'll pick them up, most likely maybe on Christmas Eve or whenever your dinner is. And you have the most amazing snowflake rolls that'll melt in your mouth, the most delicious from Daylight Donuts. And Chuck has told me that it is an old family recipe, is where these come from, that they're very complex and difficult to make. But they make thousands of them every year because so many people order these around the holidays. So the snowflake roll is available at Daylight Donuts, but also your coffee, lattes as well, those holiday lattes. Over 14 different flavors, all there, and the drive-thru is lightning fast at Daylight Donuts. Anything else? Anything else I should say?
No, it's delicious. I would recommend if you're going through the drive-thru this morning to get yourself a breakfast sandwich because those are phenomenal.
How about the story in Tampa Bay? Police Chief Mary O'Connor has now resigned, and this went national. Man, you must have some people that don't like you, because I have to say that in every industry, we kind of stick together, right?
Maybe not.
Like, for instance, people in radio. Like, if I saw something happen to a fellow radio friend of mine, or not even a friend, oh, wait, no, I don't think I'd care. I wouldn't care.
I was going to say.
I'd probably run with it. I'd be like, you're not going to believe what just happened.
Yeah, that's your competition,
I have the story.
Right?
I have the complete story. You think the OD would be like, yeah, let's be easy on him. Come on, he's a good guy. Look what he's done during the toy drive. And
no,
it would be right up there in the forefront. And they'd use an ugly picture, too, like some picture that caught me off guard.
I can think of a couple examples of this,
police
but I won't
officers, I do believe, firefighters, you got to have, it's a brotherhood. You have your back. You have the other person's back. But somebody must not have liked this police chief, because she got pulled over and wasn't even driving. But she tried to get out of a traffic ticket. They were driving a golf cart on the road, and a deputy, so this would be Sheriff's Department versus Police Department, a deputy pulled them over, and she tried to talk her way out of the ticket by saying, come on, I'm the police chief of such and such. And it went viral. And she's now had to resign.
You're kidding me.
No.
Do we have audio?
I do.
Oh, yes.
So she was a passenger in this golf cart being pulled over for driving on the road, and listen to what went down.
Stopped you because you driving unregistered vehicle with no tag on it.
Is your camera on?
It is.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
Now that you say you look familiar, so.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
All right, folks. Well, have a good night. All right,
Sorry
take care.
to bother you.
All right, no worries. No worries. It was nice meeting you.
All right. If you ever need anything, call me.
Appreciate that.
Ooh. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you.
So, take care.
I do not know how this got out. However, she should know that those body cams are foilable. Now, did somebody leak that out that didn't like her? Somebody got offended by it? But, I mean, you're just blatantly right there like. And this is after he said, yes, my body cam is on.
So I have a couple of thoughts. One,
I'm the police chief in Tampa. No need to worry about me.
Look, I don't think that's criminal. I don't think that's why she has to resign. Where was she driving?
No, that's why she's resigning.
Because she's
resigning because of this. Yeah, because of this incident where she basically tried to use her position to get out of a ticket, and she's gotten such pressure she is resigning.
I don't think.
I think it's something that should not. Does it happen? Yes. Do you want it to show up on TV? No. On somebody's YouTube? No. It is not. You don't want to be in a position to get out of a ticket. If you're the police officer of Tampa Bay, you don't want that. Or the police chief of Tampa Bay, you would not want that out.
I have a question as to where were they going in this golf cart? Like how far down the road were they driving?
Idea.
No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like my father once, as I remember, my mother having to drive. My father's going to hate this, but it was early 70s. My father drove a motorcycle that was unlicensed across a road into a field and was pulled over by a state trooper and lost his driver's license for that. So you can't, I mean, the rule is you cannot be on the road if it's unlicensed. In fact, if you're parked on the side of the road with the keys out of the ignition, you could be still ticketed for DWI in a situation there.
So the officer has discretion. He doesn't have to say, okay, well, since he basically cut her a break.
So you're okay with that being out there? If that were,
I think the worst thing she said is basically, "I will return the favor." But for all, can you replay it?
I will replay it. I will replay it. Yes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here it is.
Stopped you because you driving unregistered vehicle with no tag on it.
Is your camera on?
It is.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
Now that you say you look familiar, so.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
All right, folks. Well, have a good night. All right, take care.
Sorry to bother you.
All right, no worries. No worries. It was nice meeting you.
All right. If you ever need anything, call me.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Thank
you. So, take care.
Does it happen? It absolutely happens, right? Normally, you don't have to ask for it, though. I think the fact that she asked for it, I find a little odd. Usually, it would just happen. But it is, for the public has placed their trust in you as the tax-paid police chief of Tampa. And you are now using your position to say, I'm above everyone else. If this was someone else, you'd give them a ticket. But I'm above them, so I expect you to not give me a ticket. To ask for it alone is foolish, right? Why would you even have to ask? It normally would be a common courtesy. The officer would be like, I'll let you go. But you do not agree. You feel that she did nothing wrong there.
No, I feel like, and it's funny, Wayne just messaged, and I agree with Wayne's point here. He says, the worst thing, the cop's saying, I will do you a favor if you ever need one. I think that's the worst thing she said, but I'm not surprised anybody in any situation says, I know I didn't have my seatbelt on. I know I was going 10 miles over the limit. I just hope you'll let me go.
Okay. The part where she added, I'm the police chief, so you should let me go is all right. Well, all I can tell you is I don't know what happened.
You think when a cop gets pulled over, he doesn't say, come on, man, I'm a police officer 10 miles down the road. You don't have to give me a ticket.
I don't think they need to. It's just a known thing. And I do think there are courtesies given. That's absolutely correct. But what you don't want is that courtesy given and showing up on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
If that happens, you're in trouble. That's not something that a police officer would want. And it's in public. So who released that? Was it foiled? Was it released by, is this a sheriff's department that doesn't like this police chief? Is this police chief unpopular in Tampa with the other officers? I have no idea what the dynamic is, but somehow it got out. It's one of those things you wouldn't want out, right?
Yeah, and again,
That could be embarrassing for a police department to the point where someone might have to at least get into some hot water. And her being the leader of that police department, clearly she feels she has to resign.
The part about, again, the thing that sticks with me is the exchange. Like, now you've done something for me, I'll do something for you. But I would be willing to bet that, like, 75% of the time, anytime a cop gets pulled over, the first thing he says is, do you know I'm a police officer in Albany or wherever? Right? I don't think that that's wrong.
So
the fact that she's wanting to do something. Go ahead.
I'm not even going to get into this. I don't want to go down this road because it's just not a good road to get down. I mean, because the average person would say, I don't think anybody should get out of a ticket. I don't get out of a ticket. How come they get out of a ticket? Right? I think that when it becomes public, it's something that may be an unwritten rule, if you will, or a favor that is given to someone who puts their lives on the line, but it's not something you want out.
Yeah. Look, every single person wants to get out of a ticket.
Yes.
You don't have to write me an officer.
You don't
have to write
on,
ticket, officer.
I'm Jeff Manaske. I'm on the radio.
I've never used that. I never would. I would never.
I was hoping you'd kind of let me go here.
Never. Nobody cares who I am, and I would never say.
But the point is, even she should know better to say it should just be, just drop it in there. I'm the police chief. I'm sorry. We were just crossing the road. And it probably would have happened that he would have said, please just drive carefully. You guys are on your way. It would have happened. The fact that she asked for it, she asked for the favor by saying who she was and then said, oh, by the way, if you ever need anything, I'll return the favor to you. I think that's where she got herself in trouble.
Wayne, it's the old, I killed someone. My name is O.J. Simpson. Let me go.
Yeah, please. I'm O.J. Didn't you like Naked Gun? I mean, that was a good movie, wasn't it?
Can I sign a couple footballs for you?
I'm a big Bills fan. Dr. Ken Hall is on the line right now. Doc, good morning. Do you have any opinion on the police chief in Tampa?
I do have an opinion. I think I'll keep it to myself, though.
Okay. I think you're
why
better
is everybody
off.
afraid? Why is this a taboo thing for us to discuss? You didn't want to go down this road.
I do not. I can't even believe we're talking about it. I don't like talking about it.
How come?
Okay. If I don't like talking about it, you're going to ask me another question?
I'm missing something obvious here.
Yeah.
I'm clearly overlooking
It's just
something.
not it's not something that needs to be talked about, and the police chief should have known that she didn't have to even say that, especially when he said, yes, my body cam is on. It just would have been a courtesy that most likely would have automatically been given to her. And unfortunately, she's now resigning. Why? I guess we don't know. Doc, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing today?
I'm well as well. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on, I've seen some good numbers on one of the vaccines that they're saying for the new variants is... I'm seeing that it is it's very, very successful. The rate is high in terms of success.
Yeah, the new bivalent vaccine, which incorporates not only the quote-unquote older version of COVID, but also the new Omicron. Although not the latest Omicron, but at least the base Omicron changes, is actually very successful in preventing significant disease. It does not. People will then think, oh, so if I get this, then I won't get sick. That's not, or you won't, have the disease, you won't test positive. That's not true, but it will keep you. There's a really good success rate for keeping you out of the hospital.
Which is, what everybody's looking for. So you would suggest moving forward and getting the next vaccine, even though a lot of people are like, man, I got the vaccine and I still got COVID.
Yes, so the people that got the vaccine and still got COVID, the vast majority did not end up in the hospital, and that's the point. It isn't about not getting sick. It's about not getting so sick that you end up in the hospital or, God forbid, dead. Because, and again, the primary people that I would say should be first on the list for getting it are people that are very susceptible to having severe disease. So, and we know who those are. Diabetics, people with severe obesity, people with immune problems, people with cancer, people with lung problems, things like that. Those are the people that should absolutely, put themselves at the front of the line for getting this new vaccine.
So my wife signed up for the, let's see, it'll be the flu and the COVID at the same time for later this week, and it did become a little difficult because you got to figure out which one you're signing up for. And if you've already had the previous shots, and I mean, I find that it's a little tricky, but I'm assuming you could ask your pharmacist or ask your doctor if you have questions.
Yes, you can certainly ask the pharmacist or your doctor whatever questions you have. I can tell you that getting them both at the same time is fine. I did that myself. A number of people within the Mohawk Valley Health System that were getting the flu shot as well as the latest COVID vaccine also got them at the same time. They both work well. There is no problem with, if you get them, then, they'll be competing with each other for your immune system, so that they won't be as effective. That's not true. And the side effects really are not additive either. I was personally, I was lucky. I didn't really have significant side effects from either vaccine. So, but, even those that I know who did have, did get some significant effects, mostly from the COVID vaccine, that they were not accentuated at all because they got both at the same time.
I've heard the side effects on the shingles shot can be, nothing out of nothing crazy, but there's definitely a chance that you could feel side effects with that vaccine as well.
No, that's very true. So the shingles shot, can really. It knocks some people for a loop, honestly, with, being tired, low-grade fevers, just not having any energy. It's short-lived. It's, 24, 48 hours, something like that. And then you come back out of it. But it can. Thanks for bringing that up, because the last time that we talked about the shingles vaccine, I made a misstatement. I said that it was indicated for people 60 and above. It's actually indicated for people 50 and above. So I apologize if there was any confusion on that.
And just recently, you had a visit from the Commissioner of Health in New York State, who has now announced that she will be stepping down, Mary Bassett, who seemed to be quite impressed with the new downtown hospital.
Yeah, so she toured the hospital. She really liked it. She thinks that it's going to be a wonderful place for us to be able to take care of our community. She also toured other areas, including the center and other areas within Utica. She was actually pretty impressed with our community as a whole. So.
And then I just, as we're moving forward with COVID and getting past all of this, and people are now back to doing the things that they used to do, the preventative things like getting tested for cancer, their blood work or whatever, mammographies or whatever tests they did. During COVID, there was an absence of all of that. Do you feel like, and maybe it's just my imagination and maybe it's just coincidence, do you feel like there's an increase in people who are passing away from cancer, and that might have something to do with the fact that for 2 years we weren't getting any testing done?
So that's a good question. I haven't seen any data on it, so I'm not sure. I will answer a corollary question, which is, are people sicker because they did not get their routine care?
Yeah.
And I think the answer to that is a qualified yes. And let me explain why. The patients that we're seeing in the hospital now with, with conditions that people normally get, admitted to the hospital for, whether it's, lung problems from, emphysema, or whether it's heart problems like congestive heart failure and things like that. They are sicker. They are requiring more intensive care, not necessarily an intensive care unit, but they are requiring more care. They are coming into the emergency department sicker. They're being admitted sicker. They're staying in the hospital longer, and we're seeing that. And it's not one disease. It's not like it's just cancer or just heart disease. It's really across the board.
Yeah.
And so obviously I don't have a definite this is because of this, but it is certainly interesting that for 2 years people were not getting, or were reluctant to, or there was a decrease in people getting their routine care even for chronic conditions, and now we're seeing this. So it certainly would be understandable.
Doc, as always, we appreciate your time. You do a great job, and we thank you for your updates on a regular basis.
Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate the community listening to me. And please, everybody, just enjoy the holidays. Do what you can, but please be safe.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Dr.
Thank
Hall.
you.
Thanks.
Davey, let's do our free money question of the day. Give somebody a chance to win from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. Plus, we have some neat little consolations if you don't win the dough. Great question coming up. We'll go with caller number. You okay with 3?
Mm-hmm.
Caller 3 right now. Your chance to win from the Hobeika Law Firm and WIBX. Third caller right now at 315-736-0186.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan, or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. Saving money, that's what it's all about, so we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Visit Munson Williams and be inspired by the special exhibition, Leslie Dill, Wilderness, Light Sizzles Around Me. Walk among larger-than-life sculptures of American visionaries, including Sojourner Truth, Emily Dickinson, and others. Wilderness, Light Sizzles Around Me is an enchanting experience for all ages. See it before it closes January 29th. As always, admission to the museum is free. Wilderness Light Sizzles Around Me at Munson Williams is made possible by Stephen and Dorian Critelli in honor of Dolores Y. Critelli and Alan and Linda Vincent.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Good morning. Cloudy skies, 37 degrees. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:40. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit them today at clintontractor.net. Well, big day today in the state of Georgia as they will decide the runoff, in theory. Runoff election day in Georgia, voters deciding whether they like Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock or Republican challenger Herschel Walker. It's a U.S. Senate seat for 6 years. Neither man got 50% of the vote last month, so state law requires today's runoff. The House is set to vote today on the Respect for Marriage Act. The measure was crafted to codify the right to same-sex marriage, passed in the Senate with bipartisan support last week. A man is in the hospital after an officer at a police station in Rialto, California, shot him several times. Police officials say the man was armed with an assault-style rifle when he followed the officer into a secure parking lot on Monday night. Hollywood remembering Kirstie Alley and honoring her this morning. The Emmy-winning actress died Monday after a battle with cancer. She was 71. Alley won her Emmy as she rose to fame on the comedy series named Cheers. Well, speaking of Cheers the Bar, there is one for sale in the Capital Region. Of course, 11 seasons, 275 episodes. Everybody knew the name of the sitcom Cheers. There were several bars that spun off and took the name or logo of the Cheers bar. One of them is in the Capital Region. You can try to be your own modern-day Sam Malone. There is a Cheers posted in Albany for sale. There's one in Johnstown. And there's a third one in downtown Albany. Full details on this at WIBX950.com. An investigation underway into a crash in Oneida County that left a woman seriously injured. State police say 21-year-old Emma Paduri was pulling out of her driveway on Route 8 in the town of Bridgewater when the two-vehicle accident happened. She had to be airlifted to a Syracuse hospital. The driver of the other vehicle did not suffer serious injuries. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is, in the Financial Times, named the Person of the Year for 2022. The London-based publication tweeted today that the 44-year-old Zelensky has earned a place in history for his extraordinary display of leadership and fortitude. WIBX News Time 7:42. Your Weather Center forecast calling for cloudy skies. Slight chance of rain showers this afternoon, a high of 47. Rain showers likely late tonight, an overnight low of 45 degrees. More rain in the forecast for Wednesday, otherwise cloudy, a high of 52. Cloudy skies Thursday and a high of 45 degrees. Bill, we won't see the sunshine again until Friday. Right now we have cloudy skies, 37 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:43.
Almost sounds like a song. We won't see the sunshine
till Friday.
Let's do our free money question of the day. Remember that song, Davey? That was by the Mamas and the Papas. Remember that? Yeah. Sandy in Utica. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know how this contest works. I throw a question at you. You have 7 seconds to answer it. And if you answer correctly, you get cash. If you answer incorrectly, we throw all this other stuff at you. All right?
All right.
So here we go. Here is your question. Sadly, She passed away after a short bout with cancer. Kirstie Alley has passed away. In 1970, Kirstie Alley married Bob Alley. What was Kirstie Allen's maiden name? Ready, go.
I have no idea.
Throw one out.
Allie?
Throw one out. What are we going with?
Alan?
What? Throw one out. What was the name that you said? Give me the name you said, and I'll tell you if it's right or wrong.
Alan.
Allen. Is it her real maiden name? Her real name, was it Kirstie Allen? It was not.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Are you sure that's what you said? I thought you said something else. No?
I might have initially said Allie because that was her TV name. But
Right.
I meant to say Alan, but that wasn't right either. So.
All right. Well, the funny thing is, the correct
Don't tell me
answer is Kirstie Alley's married name was Kirstie Alley. Her maiden name was Kirstie Alley.
Get out.
She married a guy who had the exact same last name, but not related. That is a true story.
That's a great question.
Can you freaking believe that? Wow.
No, I don't really.
I know.
And it wasn't her brother, right? We're
It was
sure
not
of
her
that.
brother. It was not her brother. It was not her cousin, Jerry Lee Lewis. Anyway, very sad. On Cheers and all the other stuff. Anyway, all right. We are going to give you. I'll give you a table for 6 at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Use it any way you want. Davey will hook you up. Shows every Friday and Saturday. And from the Comets, they're doing this really cool card. It's a $25 gift card. It's a Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It's a $25 gift card, good at the Aquavino, at Babe's, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, ABC, or any of the Adirondack Bank Center's concession stands as well. So go to a Comets or a Pioneers game. You could use this there as well. We'll mail it right to you. Stand by, Sandy. Davey is going to hook you up, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. I thought she had said Allie first.
Right, Sandy, what?
And then
So did I.
corrected it, and I wanted so much to give that to her. Kirstie Alley married her father. Listen to this. Kirstie Alley's father's name was Robert Alley. She married Robert Alley in 1970. She married a man not only with the same last name, but with the same first name, and he was her high school sweetheart. They met in high school. Same exact name. That's pretty wild. And they're not related. I'd like to be like, well, you're not related. You go back far enough, we're going to find out you were related. But apparently not. Apparently not.
I'm sure they got their chops busted in high school, right?
I'm sure they did. All right, we have some comments. I got a bunch of stuff, some comments. I'll let you start with your comments. And ready, go.
My first comment is I love our audience because of their comments. All right, Ann in Rome says, good morning. The way I understand that new tax law you guys were talking about, if I sell a TV for $6,001 and I paid $1,000 for it and sold it online, I need to come up with the original receipt to show how much I actually paid for it. If I don't have the receipt, then it's taxable income.
Yeah, I find this being very difficult because you're paying tax on something twice. You bought it once and you pay the tax on it when you bought it, and now when you sell it, you got to pay a tax on it.
The government. Let's see. Dave and Ilian. Dave, thanks for the daily updates. This was sent late yesterday.
I can't even believe what's going on in Ilion. This is a war. There is a war happening in Ilion, and it is a war of gasoline. And it is Stewart's versus Clifford. Stewart's versus Clifford. And they Stewart's keeps low every time Clifford lowers down, Stewart's goes a little bit lower. And who reaps the benefit? The people of not just Ilion, the people of the region. People are traveling from all over the place to little Ilion, New York. Why? For the gasoline.
So
we're talking, if you have to, I talked to a friend of mine who filled up a pickup truck.
Oh, yeah.
21 gallons.
Yeah.
He saved $21 on a fill-up.
So I think for the first time, we might be going in the other direction. Now, let me give you these numbers as of 12 noon yesterday. This is from Dave and Ilian. Stewart's went up to $2.97 this morning. Cliff's Citgo was at $2.89 with the gift certificate. At Greenie's, it's $2.97.
So Greenie's is they're a smaller gas station. They're going to have a tough time sticking with this.
Correct.
But because you had asked the other day about, I did a little research. I would say that on average, that by selling the gas at the price they're currently selling it for, these gas stations are losing between 35 and 45 cents a gallon on gas. Their cost, they are losing 35 to 45 cents a gallon. And I got that from a very good source. So if that's the case,
yeah,
I've also been, on an average, let's say that a gas station on average might go through, I don't know,
let's say 100, round number.
The number of the gallons of gas. So
day,
they might be going through, I guess I don't know if the number is a week or a month, but I will tell you that they are selling now almost double what I've been hearing. They're selling almost double the amount of gas that they normally would sell, which means that the tankers coming in to refill are coming in twice as often to refill.
I'll be honest, I'm almost surprised it's not more than that.
And they're losing 35, 40 cents a gallon in the midst of this gas war.
That's incredible.
Now, what's interesting is there's conflict between Stewart's. Every time Stewart's wants to open, Clifford is there, right? Trying to say, well, we don't need another gas station, or maybe there are properties that get bought up around it to prevent it from. This is happening in South Utica right now. So don't go thinking that what's going on in Ilion has nothing to do with what's going on in Utica right now.
I completely agree.
It's all part of this. And which company's bigger? Is it Clifford or is it Stewart's?
Which one blinks first? Yeah.
My guess is Stewart's is probably 5 times bigger than Clifford. Maybe 10 times larger.
Justin in Herkimer.
In terms of number of stores.
Justin in Herkimer, who is
They were
right
giving
by
you an
Ilion.
update. I'm sorry.
He says, when we were talking about the new words for the dictionary, he says, I hate the word woke. It's constantly overused. Ed in Whitesboro has a question for us,
agree.
and I don't know that we can answer it. How does the Thruway Authority handle those from with out-of-state licenses if they don't pay? With a New York State license plate and driver's license in New York State, they can suspend your driver's license for non-payment.
I think that the states are all working together. It's not like the old days. And most states have Easy Pass, and they call it Easy Pass today. Used to be, if you got a ticket in Idaho, the only way you'd get in trouble is if you went back to Idaho and they stopped you and they're like, hey, you didn't pay this ticket. They're now with computers and everybody connected and working together. I believe that they can impose fines on you from other states through your own state. In fact, you won't be able to get a renewal of your driver's license if you have something outstanding in another state.
No. This is from Lance. Hey, Bill, I'm sure that you've missed me. And we did, Lance. I watched your YouTube episode yesterday, and my take on Palmieri running for county executive would be it's a lot closer and more interesting than you think. Dave Gordon drove your buddy Pacenti nuts. Imagine how miserable Palmieri would make him. I, for one, may delay my move to Florida to stick around and watch the circus.
Lance, you shouldn't move. I mean, come on. The weather's beautiful here. Lance is not a Pacenti fan, right?
No,
so
correct.
Lance is always anti-Pacenti. I just don't think that would be a close race at all. Based on numbers. I want to switch gears a second. I do have one other comment on this. The gas wars in Ilion are like the song The Limbo, How Low Can You Go? I think that's very true.
Yeah.
And then one more on the police officer. Imagine, this is Michael. So you get pulled over. The police chief did not have to say, I'm the police chief, so I was just hoping you'd let me go. That would be like if Jim Boeheim were to get pulled over in Syracuse. Does he have to say he's Jim Boeheim? Would he have to say that?
He's a celebrity, though.
Correct. He wouldn't have to say it. He would just be like, all right, and then wait. Well, I'm going to let you go this time, Jim Boeheim, but, right?
Yeah. But a police
That's all
chief
I
or
want to say.
officer.
That's all I want to say about it.
Okay.
That's all I want to say. Davey, that's all I want to say about it.
Now
I want to talk about Christmas music. This is going to be a sharp right turn. I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I have to because Dr. Shad Groves is standing by on the line right now. I'm sure you've seen what I've done there, people, right? Hello, Shad. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
How people feel about Christmas music. I got to tell you, it depends on who you're talking. Are you asking me that question? Because I'm going to answer. It depends on who you're talking to. My wife, not a fan. Me, I'm kind of a fan.
Really?
Not in October, though. What are we finding out? How do people look at this?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I want to explain a little bit of the neuroscience and the research that we have done on this that I've compiled.
Fair enough.
And one of the things is everybody, I think, is known for ages that music is the language of emotions. So there's a couple of things I would like to address first. One is the big elephant in the room, which is that in the 1950s, a doctor by the name of Papez had looked at the wiring of the brain and linked a circuit called the circuit of Papez, that's been named after him, that linked the area of the brain called the hippocampus, which is the area for memories, to the area of the brain that's responsible for emotions and mood called the limbic system. And so what we look at, for one, is if you have memories that are not necessarily the greatest things around the holidays, it tends to affect the mood differently than if you had positive memories. If you have great childhood memories, you sing the carols along the neighborhood or whatever the case is, and you hear those songs from the past, it may trigger different emotions than somebody else. Now, however, there is something that music does in the field of neuroscience, which is mood. It has affect. It affects us. And now there's a process that we call prosodic language or prosodic expression. And that is the close relationship of the spoken word with emotional tone that correlates with music and musical expression. And so there's a correlation between happy words are used and played in music with happy tones, while sad words are spoken with sad tones. So you can express emotion through music based upon how we play. And that's going to be based upon tempo, frequency, intensity, things like that. That affects the brain differently. Okay, so if I have a slower tempo, it's going to be more associated with sadder emotions. So if I have a faster tempo, it's going to be associated with
You know I use the word Bayheim,
and this all affects the frequency
Everybody knows
of our
that.
brain.
It was
Now,
so
when we
well
have
slipped
mood,
in that neither one of you caught
like
it.
you said, you're in the mood for Christmas or the holiday music. Well, if you're hearing it before Halloween, it's going to be more of an aversion. You say, I'm not ready for
Did you get a winner?
Okay.
We
But
do
if
have a
you're
winner.
putting up the decorations
Is it
around the
Dale
house
in Utica?
and you're putting on some holiday
Dale,
music.
I'll be right with
it's
you.
gonna
We're talking
enhance your
Christmas
mood.
music
it's going
right
to
now.
motivate you. In
Coming right with you.
You're going to have a little bit more of a happiness.
Interesting.
Now, there was a study in 2019 that looked at musical preferences. And that what they did is that they looked at over 765 million online musical downloads that were streamed by over 1 million people across the globe in 51 countries.
Wow.
And what they found is that there is a discrepancy between the preferences based upon age.
I do think this is very interesting.
Where if you're younger, you like higher intensity, more edgier, more novel.
Kind of did.
Okay, versus if you're in the older
This
crowd,
just ruins Christmas music for me. It's
typically would
way too
prefer
scientific.
lower tempo, lower energy, lower intensities. Okay, and that's kind of what we expect. You know, the good old days of the music.
The good old days, like White
However,
Christmas.
There is a seasonal pattern with these same million people that they looked at. There was a differences in the preferences based upon season. And that effect was greater the farther you moved away from the equator. The farther north you moved in the northern hemisphere, or the farther south of the equator in the southern hemisphere. And it directly correlated with the amount of daylight hours. So the more sun you had, the more daylight hours.
I am completely lost, and I apologize.
The higher the intensity, the higher the tempo.
And I want to be
the
100% polite because he's probably a brilliant man.
But during, like in the northern hemisphere,
far more brilliant than I am.
In the summertime, we're going to like the stuff that's edgier,
which is why I can't understand what he's talking about.
Slower and more intense. But in the season, in the winter months in the northern hemisphere, we're going to like things are a little bit slower.
Coming with you, Dale, as soon as I get through this. Congratulations.
Lower intensities. and that correlated with the southern hemisphere as well.
All right. Wow. It's amazing how the science plays such a role behind something as simple as Christmas music, right? Holiday music.
Absolutely. And so that can explain why as it gets darker in the days, you're going to prefer a little bit with different mood as you get closer to the season as well.
Very nice. Doc, Dr. Shadgroves, we appreciate the insight. Thank you so much. And I don't know, let me try it on you. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
I love it.
Makes you feel good, right? All right, Doc, thank you so much.
Very good, sir.
Have a wonderful holiday.
Okay, Merry Christmas to you and
Merry
happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Dr. Shadgrove, there we go.
Look, I didn't think it was going to be all that.
Dale, congratulations. You've won tickets to the Syracuse game. I did mention Boeheim coming up a few minutes ago. Neither one of you caught it. I had to run in and wake Davey up. Davey, they're calling, man. I got a break. WIBX, Utica, Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
It's the last voting of the 2022 elections. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, going on now in Georgia in a Senate runoff.
A rematch between Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker to decide who gets to go to Washington, since neither candidate won a majority in November.
I want you to create a real 911 emergency. I want you to vote like it's an emergency.
You can know you got a champion in Herschel Walker.
The stakes could have been higher, but Democrats will retain control of the Senate regardless of what happens in the Peach State. That hasn't stopped voter enthusiasm, though, with almost 2 million votes already in.
Fox's Charles Watson in Atlanta. The current Congress, with Democrats still in control of the House, may consider a bipartisan immigration reform plan being put together that could give a pathway to citizenship for some brought to the U.S. illegally as kids and shielded it under the Obama-era DACA program. Late last night, President Biden tweeted
that seniors who are covered by Medicare will see a $35 a month cap on insulin prescriptions starting January 1st. The price cap comes as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, but advocates warn that excluding millions of Americans with private health insurance and the uninsured from the price caps still leaves millions paying higher prices for insulin.
Fox's Sean Langell. Next hour, the president will leave for Arizona, where he will again tout the new law incentivizing more high-tech manufacturing in the U.S. The power is still out for tens of thousands in Moore County, North Carolina, where businesses and schools have closed. Many have no heat. After an attack on power substations over the weekend still being repaired, Sheriff Ronnie Field says it was deliberate.
The individual that done the damage knew exactly what they were doing.
The FBI is helping find who did it. Actress Kirstie Alley has died, famous for her role on the TV show Cheers.
I mean, when Sam Malone walks into a room, I say no and go on with my life.
Alley was 71, had cancer. America's listening to Fox News.
I've told you about my lower back pain and how kneeling in church on Sunday was becoming nearly unbearable. Sebastian Gorka here. I've also told you about how Relief Factor has helped almost eliminate my pain. Now, let me tell you what Robert in California says about his experience with Relief Factor. Robert writes, I didn't think Relief Factor was working until I ran out mid-month. After about 3 days, the pain was back to where it started. It was a great test for me to see how much Relief Factor really works. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing and living the life you love. Your first step to becoming pain-free from aches and pains from daily living could be just to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out about this offer. That's relieffactor.com. or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Good morning. We have cloudy skies and 37 degrees to start. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Nothing Bundt Cakes in New Hartford. Sweeten your holiday with decorated bundt cakes, festive buntinis, and giftable buntlets. Order online at nothingbundtcakes.com. That's BUNDT. Chance of rain in the forecast this afternoon a little bit, and we will have rain tomorrow as well. A closer look at that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. The forecast also calling for an increase in toll prices in the years ahead. Members of the State Thruway Authority taking the first steps to increase tolls for drivers who travel on the highway, yes, even Easy Pass customers. In fact, the authority's board of directors has approved a proposal to increase tolls for Easy Pass customers by 5% in 2024 and an additional 5% in 2027. Those who choose to pay their tolls by mail would also be handing over more money. A final decision on any increases likely won't be made for several months. A serious accident in Madison County sends one woman to the hospital. The investigation still underway. State police say 21-year-old Emma Paduri was pulling out of her driveway on Route 8 in the town of Bridgewater yesterday. When the two-vehicle accident happened, she had to be airlifted to a Syracuse hospital where she was listed in critical condition. The driver of the other vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. There is another change regarding cars downtown if you're headed to the Nexus Center or the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica police announcing a temporary parking ban along two roads surrounding the Aud and Nexus, the north side of Whitesboro Street between Washington Street and Auditorium Drive, and the east side of Broadway from Whitesboro Street to Oriskany Street. That temporary parking ban is being put in place to make it more safe for pedestrians around the Adirondack Bank Center and the Nexus Center. UPD officials say this ban is simply a bridge to a more permanent solution, one that can be collaboratively devised. UPD saying on Facebook, they're also reminding motorists that the parking is free in the available lots on the north side of Whitesboro Street. Just last month, officials announced a permanent change to the traffic pattern at Auditorium Drive. It's now a one-way road with traffic only being permitted northbound. And since we're talking about so much travel, they have made a ruling was made on the 81 project in Syracuse yesterday. The restraining order that was put in place has been modified. Yesterday, the judge saying the State Department of Transportation can do paperwork necessary to award the first construction contract. However, no physical work can actually be done until a lawsuit aimed at blocking the project is finally resolved in court. The next court appearance for that lawsuit is scheduled for January 12th. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. Your Weather Center forecast calling for rain showers today, a high of 47 degrees. We'll have rain showers tonight as well, an overnight low of 45. Sticking with rain and wet on Wednesday, we'll warm it up to 53 degrees. Thursday, mostly cloudy, a high of 45. The sun will come back on Friday with a high of 42. Right now, cloudy skies, 37 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:07.
It's third down. Underneath. And touchdown, Rachaad White. Tom Brady's only NFL win after trailing by 13 or more points in the fourth quarter was against the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. 44th career comeback in the fourth quarter or overtime. The most all-time now. Breaking that tie with Peyton Manning. If you want to know why a guy like Brady, who at 45 in his 23rd year won't retire, it's games like this.
No question. Boy, it was Brady last night after being down 16-3 in the fourth quarter. Came back to win 17-6. Wow, that's all I can say. I hate him. The Rangers rally in the third to beat the Blues. The New York Rangers scored 3 goals in the third period of their game with St. Louis and won that game 6-4. So it must have been in the air last night. College basketball tonight. We have a pair of tickets we just gave away to the Syracuse game tonight from our man Joe Lode. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
We got a great winner. Dal automatically heard me mentioning the name Boeheim, Jim Boeheim, and we gave away those tickets. That's a 6 p.m. game tonight. It'll be on the ACC network if you're not going to the game, as Syracuse hosts Oakland tonight at the Dome. I mentioned earlier that men's hockey Division III, Utica was ranked number 3 going into the game with number 7 Oswego over the weekend. They beat Oswego 4-0. Oswego has fallen out of the top 10. Utica University is now number 2 with a record of 8-2-1. Hobart is number 1 right now. Top 3 unchanged this week in the top 25 coaches poll in Division I. Houston still first after receiving 21 of the 31 first-place votes. Texas and Virginia remain second and third. Baker Mayfield released by the California Panthers. We mentioned for the Mets, big move, getting Justin Verlander on a 2-year deal. He's in his early 40s, right? But a Cy Young winner and
39. He's 39.
He's
really.
39. But by next year will be 40. Craziness.
I saw something yesterday. So the Mets open up their season against the Florida Marlins. Could you imagine if Justin Verlander starts the game for the Mets to beat this year's Cy Young in American League against the Marlins guy that won it for the National League?
Alcantara.
Yeah.
Couple of other deals. The Dodgers inked left-hander Clayton Kershaw to a 1-year contract. And who is the other one?
Trey Turner?
Yeah, that's big.
I thought he re-signed with the Dodgers. I didn't know he went to Philly.
Philadelphia, signed his
Too
shortstop in Philly.
Too much for him.
Wow, that is like a video game offense. I mean, you really 1 through 8, you can hit a home run in that lineup. That's a good lineup.
Many more comments we'll get to. I've got a bunch of other
these
stuff.
comments here, especially on that last segment.
Listen, can I just say my role is to keep the program moving. Do not get caught up in it. Just keep it moving. I have failed before. But I'm firing on all cylinders this morning.
Yes, you are.
And I must have mentioned Jim Boeheim 5 times. And Manaski's like, yes!
No, Bill, we're in the middle of an argument.
He's a celebrity. I'm like, all hour long I've been saying when I mention the word Boeheim, call in to win Syracuse tickets, the lines light up. I look in and Davey's on his cell phone, sitting back relaxing. And Manaski's arguing with me about Boeheim being a celebrity.
Right over my head.
I then had to run in and be like, Davey, this is the contest, man.
I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah. Luckily,
oh, my goodness.
And then in the middle of this, we're in the middle of something pretty good, and I go way into left field to talk about some interview book about the concept of neurology and music, Christmas music.
Look, when I booked that
but
doctor.
Luckily, he just kept going. I could have left, gone down the street, grabbed a Diet Pepsi, and come back, and he'd still be talking.
I thought this was about something about where people have emotions tied to the holiday. I know some people at this time of year get depressed because maybe they've lost a loved one.
I think that's kind of what it was about, but I couldn't
He's
follow.
talking about the beat when the sun goes down and the tempo of the song.
Yeah.
So a couple of comments here. First of all, Larry, I'll get to the football game. Larry in Whitesboro says, how'd the prevent defense work for New Orleans last night? Why does a team play defense for 55 minutes, then decide in the last 5 minutes they're going to change it and then lose the game?
I could not believe how that game turned. New Orleans should have won that game by 20 points.
Yep.
WIBX.
Cannot believe it.
And the segment there we had with the doctor about Christmas music, it was a hit. Alan Herkimer during the segment says, hey, what about police officers? Kidding. This is funny. Darlene in Sequoia, I appreciate it. She thought we made a mistake. She goes, guys, Bill's mic is on right now. She didn't know that we knew that.
Well,
Stephen Rome.
Just so you know, I can hit a button and it will not feed the phone. So we can be talking and the caller is not able to hear us.
Darlene thought maybe we had accidentally left the mic on. Stephen Rome says, is this Christmas expert related to Liberal Lou? What else do I have here? Conservative John in Boonville, who I assume is a police officer, he says no special treatment for Jim Boeheim. If I pull him over, I'm writing every ticket in the book.
I love that.
And FX in New Hartford, Kirstie Alley and her husband had a child. They named him Bowling. Da-doom.
I like that. I have to say also, Ann this morning, or I guess it was Julie, who was saying that the bar that Cheers was modeled after is a bar in Boston called the Bull and Finch, and I've been to that place several times. And on the outside, it's Cheers. It just says Bull and Finch. It does not say Cheers, although they have since opened a Cheers bar, I believe, in Boston, because that's where the program is set. However, the Bull and Finch is the actual bar. When you go inside, it looks nothing like Cheers, but from the outside, it's what it's modeled after. On the inside, it looks nothing like it.
There's no wow.
You get a lot of memorabilia, Cheers stuff you could buy. I mean, this was years ago when Cheers was actually on, but it looked nothing like it inside. But the outside, that's the picture you see.
Yeah, that was a set, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't the actual inside of the bar.
The set. You know, when you walked into Cheers, you stepped down, and there was this round bar that and then there was seating all the way around. Nothing like that at the Bull and Finch. But
That's interesting.
that is the bar that it was all modeled after.
I mentioned this morning, and you could find it for yourself on our website. The Cheers bar that's for sale in the Capital Region. This story here has a list of a few different places in the country where there are Cheers bars. They're either Cheers themed. You could find the Cheers logo on the outside, or they are just flat out called Cheers. But again, there's a photo gallery of some of these facilities. They look nothing like the Cheers bar that we've all grown up watching on television.
There was I think we can talk about this, but I don't even want to go specifics on what school. But a local school had a threat this morning. The threat has turned out to be a fake threat, so nothing to worry about, but you might be getting that from your individual school district. So without spreading rumors any further than they need to be spread, I will not mention the school district. But just that, if you've been hearing rumors, they are, it turns out that it's a false alarm.
And I don't want to spread rumors either, but I will say it's unfortunate because this school district dealt with the same thing late last week as well.
Terrible, yeah. You find this copycat stuff is just brutal to deal with. 8:15, we'll break and back here. Stand by. We're coming back on a Tuesday morning at WIBX.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opiates after a surgery 2 years ago, a broken bone last year, and a dental procedure last month. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. Holding on to unused medication like opiates puts your family at risk. Remove the risk by getting 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home. Hurry and don't delay. There's a limited supply.
Go to ocopioidtaskforce.org. Mohawk Valley FCU is giving you even more reasons to become a member and save money with their early fuel loan program. If you use alternative heating such as propane, heating fuel, pellets, or wood, then Mohawk Valley FCU has your back. You could receive up to $2,000 subject to credit approval. Stock up now for the upcoming heating season and save with Mohawk Valley FCU. Just one of the many benefits Mohawk Valley FCU has to offer. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org for more info. Mohawk Valley FCU, member focused, member driven.
Lisa Booth here for Bishop Gold Group. So just when you think the stock market's recovering and everything's going back to normal, well, here comes another downturn. So what are you going to do? The answer is gold. The company that I trust is Bishop Gold Group. They can advise you on investing in gold and gold IRAs. So act now and get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualified purchase. Call Bishop Gold Group on your phone, dial pound 250, keyword Bishop Gold. That's pound 250. Bishop Gold, or go to bishopgoldgroup.com.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. Saving money, that's what it's all about, so we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others. Want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com. prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
Hey, thinking about a mortgage? Think Adirondack Bank. Your dream, your home dream, begins with Adirondack Bank. Whether it's your first home or a refinance, they have the product that will suit your needs. Their team of professional and dedicated staff can help you choose that perfect mortgage that is tailored completely to whatever it is you are needing at this point in your life. Fixed conventional mortgages, construction mortgages, FHA, VA mortgages, second home, vacation home, investment property, camp financing program, USDA rural housing loans. It's all there from Adirondack Bank. reach out today. And Adirondack has 14 locations in the area, so it's easy. And if you're doing your banking with Adirondack Bank, their mobile banking app, the 14 locations, put that all together, and Adirondack is just a click, a call, or a short drive away. Think about a mortgage with Adirondack Bank. Adirondack Bank, member FDIC.
WIDX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And let's talk about Fat Cats Comedy Club in Washington Mills, inside Tony's Pizzeria, with comedy every Friday and Saturday night. And this weekend is Teachers Appreciation Weekend. There's an option to take advantage of tickets. Just call Fat Cats Comedy Club for details on that. And you can get 2-for-1 tickets this weekend. Brad Lowry, Victoria Arnstein, funny, hilarious comedians this weekend at Fat Cats. And then Jimmy Fallon, who's been talking about coming back up here. He'll be here on February 17th and 18th. And can I just give you a little update on where we are right now? If you're purchasing tickets.
Yeah, if you want them, get them soon. I'm surprised you even have any left.
I have tickets available right now for, so if you're thinking about going, I don't know of a funnier comedy show I've ever seen. And the fact that you can hear him every day on the station, and that when he comes up here, he'll be meeting and greeting with people at the bar at Tony's, after the show, before the show. Ann in Rome might be one of his biggest fans. She'll tell you how awesome the show is. No, Davey, Ann is not. Oh, right, you're his biggest fan. Sorry, Davey. My apologies.
So, off the topic, on topic, so you know how he hyped me up on Friday?
Yeah, he built you up pretty big.
So, a best friend of mine listens to his podcast. He lives out of the area.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to him, so he texts me yesterday and says, "Do you know that Jimmy Phil talked you up, give you a big hype?" I said, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah,
he says he really likes you. And then he asked
Yeah.
me, "How do you know him?" I said, "Well, I'm like one of his personal best friends," I said.
Yeah, you are. And then did he ask you, and is it true that Peepers is closed? Is that true, by the way?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that.
Is it closed?
So does that mean there's not a strip club in Utica anymore?
No, they took the sign. They took the sign down, and they took the mirror, the mirror of the girl that was in front of the glass window there. They even took that down.
That's down.
Oh, the mural.
Okay.
I thought you were saying the mirror.
The mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, the mural. I see. So that's all gone now.
Right.
So there is not a club. Do you remember the days when there were quite a few? And matter of fact,
You got to travel to the valley if you want to go.
And that's in Frankfurt, right? Wow, and that's the only one left. Is there no interest in that anymore? I wonder. That's not a thing anymore about going into a strip club anymore.
Do you think it's because of internet?
Internet might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. No, Davey says no. They're all over Syracuse. There's a ton in Syracuse. Yes. I mean, I realize I'm talking to the expert. Come on.
Cat got your tongue, Smith?
Not the expert.
Well, but you know your stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you roll in $1 bills. I know. I understand.
We're having some fun with Smitty.
You're like a singles ATM machine over there.
I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression about Smitty. He's
I'm
a
not
good,
either.
wholesome
I'm not
young
either.
man.
Listen, and that's all legal.
Sure,
It's not like it's an illegal business, right? It's for gentlemen's. You go into other bigger cities, or you go into the South. In the South, you go to Atlanta. Business deals are done.
That's where they do
with
business.
men and women inside these clubs. It's a completely different way of dealing with it than we do up here.
I
just do find it interesting that there is not a club. I don't believe in Rome or in Utica.
Right, you are correct.
Anymore.
You are correct.
And that's that I find it to be quite interesting. Do you know that where Swifties is? That used to be a diner by day, but at nighttime it was right next to the Stanley. It was a strip club.
Is that right?
It was the 250, wasn't it?
It was the Chavio.
Yeah, where 257 Steakhouse and the Swifties is.
Right. Yeah. That was a. So there was the diner that you'd have you'd sit down at a diner bar, and when it got to be a certain time at night, it wasn't a diner anymore.
Wow.
There was a male strip club across the street from there, like male strippers. And then there were 3 or 4 clubs in Utica. There were clubs in Rome. All of that is gone today.
I know the one because I remember seeing the sign going downtown before the downtown hospital started. There was one right on the corner there by Benji's, right? Wasn't?
Yeah, it was.
That was at one of the blocks that got demoed.
Yeah,
right. There was there, and it was the golden. There was a Golden Glove. Not that I know all these things, but you're in college and also stag parties,
yeah.
That the bachelor parties, that sort of. Probably not, and it's certainly not working here. Anyway, those are all closed. How did we don't remember? We don't remember. Oh, Jimmy Fallon keeps talking to him about Peepers is no longer in existence, which he's talking to a national audience when he talks about that, right? Nonetheless, I want to give you the numbers on Jimmy Fallon. That's where I was going here. Hard to believe. Man, did we go down rabbit holes. Jimmy Fallon. On Friday night, there are seats available in the 9:30 show. Currently for the Friday 7 p.m. show, I have, it looks like there are 12 seats left.
Wow.
For Saturday, there are seats available for the late show at 9:15. Not a ton, but there are seats left. And for the 7 p.m. show on Saturday, February 18th, I have 8 seats left.
Wow.
So if you want to get your tickets, you're going to want to get them, and it would make for a great holiday gift. Jimmy Fallon coming back to town. When he does come in, he'll be back here in the studio in the morning and do his show from noon until 3 nationwide from our studios.
Absolutely, and he does love our man, Uncle Smitty. In fact, they communicate often. John in Bridgewater, good morning, John. He says, Bill, you just got to know where to go in Utica if you're looking for that kind of a thing.
John, you would know, man.
John might know.
He might know, and when we'll know who to ask now.
So, and on Jimmy, look, it's no surprise he's going to sell it anyway, but if you have any doubt whether or not you want to go, I mean, it's February, right? And Christine Bellino used to talk about this, and I agree. I didn't realize it till she clearly pointed it out. February is just a gray month. You're lucky to see the sunshine.
Yeah,
what are you going to do? You want to laugh? You want to feel good? This is a great show to go to.
Well,
and he is outstanding.
And I have to say that I've had people go to the show who didn't realize they were going to a. There will be some people that will say, he's on Fox, I will not go, right? I do not like their politics. But I've had people go in and they're like, oh, this is the guy from Fox. I'm like, yeah, it's Fox News Radio. He does noon to 3 on IBX every day. And, a ton of stations around the country. All right, well, I'll go to the show, but I don't like this. I don't like the political stuff. His show is not political. He'll get into it. He'll talk about some inside stuff. That's some of the coolest. As he's walking through the hallways of Fox News on the TV side and talking about some of the field, he lets out some secrets, and people are able to ask questions at the end of the show, which is really cool. But don't you be you'll be surprised if you've seen him. He is one of the best stand-up comics out there today.
Yeah.
He is unbelievably, has a brilliant mind, and is incredibly funny. It's a great show. No matter what your politics are, it's a great, great show. And we're lucky to have him. Without the affiliation on the radio, we wouldn't have him coming to town. And because otherwise we couldn't afford to bring him up. But because he does a show from up here, it's all a big promotion. With the radio station, it works out, and the community gets the benefit.
Yeah, no, Jimmy is big time. Matter of fact, I just talked to his team, and I think they were in Oklahoma selling out some comedy clubs over the weekend. So it's not like
he's all over the country. Yeah,
this isn't like this is the little side thing he does to meet people. Like, no, he's a legitimate stand-up comedian, and he's hilarious.
There are comedy clubs and radio stations all around America, but there's only one Davey, right, Davey? There's only one.
Right.
8:28, got a break. We'll come right back on Tuesday morning here at WIBX.
The holidays are here. A trip to Shulman and Rosansky Family Dentistry will give you a beautiful holiday smile.
I'm Andrew Rosansky, inviting you to call us for a smile you can share through the holidays and years to come. A cleaning, crowns, and veneers will give you something to smile about.
Get a beautiful holiday smile at Shulman and Rosansky Family Dentistry, 1 Paris Road, New Hartford, and online at uticasmiles.com.
Hi, this is John Calabrese. Is your company looking to hire qualified, dependable employees but unsure of where to look? Let Express Employment Professionals take on the recruitment and hiring process for you. We're a locally owned, full-service staffing firm. We'll help you find your next star employees. Business decisions come down to time and money, and Express can save you both. We take on finding employees for you so you can focus on meeting your business goals. Find us on the web at expressmohawkvalley.com for details on how to get started. Are you looking for a great job? Stop searching. ECR International is hiring for assemblers and maintenance technicians. You could be working for the company that actually helped kickstart the world-famous Boilermaker Road Race. Both of the positions that we're currently hiring for offer excellent pay with a full benefits package. Instead of waking up every day dreading work, wake up and have a fulfilling job working for a great local company. Work for ECR International. To find out more, just call Express Employment at 315-790-5723.
Years ago, my mother had a problem with her heating. She was charged almost $200 just to change a battery. I'm Jen, and at Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, we won't do that. Standard developed our free service program. If we can fix it in under an hour and no parts are needed, it's completely free. Half of our service calls are free because they are easy fixes. Our experienced technicians are the best in the business and are ready to help you. Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. We promise to save you money. Call us today at 315-859-6292.
Celebrate the season with Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in downtown Utica on Saturday, December 10th. Take 3, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, brings holiday favorites like All I Want for Christmas Is You and Silent Night to the museum for a festive concert played by pop classical instrumentalists. Tickets are on sale now at mwpai.org or 315-797-0055.
Good morning. We have cloudy skies, 37 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:30. This news update is brought to you by City Suburban. Right now, save up to $9,000 in rebates and get 0% financing for 48 months on a new heating system. Go to citysuburban.com today. Voters in Georgia casting ballots today to decide who will represent them in the U.S. Senate for the next 6 years. Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker facing off in a runoff election, as neither man got 50% of last month's midterm election vote, which led to today's special runoff election. President Biden traveling to the Southwest today. He'll be in Phoenix to get a first-hand look at the progress of construction on the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company plant. TSMC is investing $12 billion on the first phase of that project, which is the biggest direct foreign investment in Arizona history. The suspect in the deadly mass shooting at a Colorado Springs nightclub due in court this morning. It's the first in-person appearance for the man who's currently facing 10 charges. They include 5 counts of first-degree murder for the November 19 shooting that left 5 dead and more than a dozen wounded. Power still down in Moore County, North Carolina, 48 hours after it went out in what authorities are calling a targeted attack on that county's power grid. Nearly 40,000 homes and businesses have no electricity this morning. Investigators are still working to learn who fired guns at 2 power substations and why. Emmy-winning actress Kirstie Alley died Monday after a brief battle with cancer. The star of Cheers and the movie Look Who's Talking was 71. She won the Emmy for her breakout role in the hit sitcom Cheers that ran for a dozen seasons on NBC from 1982 to 1993. Members of the New York State Thruway Authority taking the first step to increase tolls. Yesterday, the authority's board of directors approved a proposal that would increase tolls for Easy Pass customers by 5% in 2024 and another 5% in 2027. A final decision on any rate hikes likely won't be made for several months. State police continue to investigate a crash in Oneida County that left a woman seriously hurt. Troopers say 21-year-old Emma Paduri was traveling out of her driveway on Route 8 in Bridgewater when the 2-vehicle accident occurred. She had to be airlifted to a Syracuse hospital where she was last listed in critical condition. The driver of the other vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan will be in New York City tonight to receive a major award. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be honored with the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award for their work on racial justice and mental health. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Warner Sales and Service. Check out the Hustler line of mowers at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. Visit warnerss.com. Rain showers in the forecast today, a high of 47 degrees. We have continued chances of rain showers this evening and overnight tonight. Not much of a change in the temperature overnight, as we'll see a low of 45. Wednesday, rain showers likely mainly before 1 p.m. Afterward, cloudy skies with a high of 53. Clouds remain for Thursday, a high of 45. Sunshine back on Friday. A bit cooler, though, a high of just 41 degrees. Right now, cloudy skies, 37 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:35.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
The holiday program of a small Texas town spins hilariously out of control when one mishap after another keeps the entire production off balance, resulting in a laugh-filled play you won't forget. For 2 weekends only, December 9th through the 18th, Players of Utica presents Christmas Bells, a fast-paced Southern-flavored comedy directed by Stephen Wagner. It's not easy for the citizens of Faro, Texas to put on their annual Christmas show when they have to deal with feuding directors, a convict bent on revenge, hot flashes, food poisoning, kidney stones, a huge family secret, and a reluctant Elvis impersonator. It's all in good fun and is sure to put you in a holly jolly holiday mood. That's December 9th, 10th, 11th, 16th, 17th, and 18th with matinees for Sunday performances. Get your tickets for Christmas Bells at playersofutica.org or call 315-724-7624 today. Senior and student tickets are available with proper ID at both the evening and matinee performances.
In Gyms, locally owned in the Mohawk Valley for over 100 years. We specialize in hardwood flooring, carpeting, area rugs, ceramic tile, laminate flooring, and waterproof vinyl flooring. We can custom cut and bind area rugs to fit any size room. It's a great time to get your house ready for the holidays with new carpeting and durable hardwood flooring. In Gyms Flooring America, call 315-733-0421 or online at ingyms.com.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
And if you're looking for a property or selling a property, River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York, and for a reason. It's all about the services they provide. And it is different. Do you know that every time your house is shown, if you're listing with River Hills, your listing agent who's done the work, who's done the research, who's gotten all the information there is to be known about your home and your property, they are on the site. They're there. They are opening the door and making sure the lights are on, making sure the house is set and properly staged for people to walk through. It just improves the possibility of you selling that home. It's as simple as that. And it's every time your house is shown, no matter how much you sell it for. Maybe you're selling $1 million property, a $500,000 property, or maybe it's a $75,000 property. Doesn't matter. Your listing agent is there. Listing agent is there every time that house is shown. That is the River Hills difference, and it makes all the difference in the world. For my wife and I, it was the one sticking point that allowed us, we feel, to sell our home. It's why we went with River Hills. In Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. It's the extra things they do to reduce the stress and help you sell your home. 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. How about those gas wars in Ilion? I mean, it's really unbelievable. I was shocked to see. I'm thinking, they must be like, got a deal on the gas or something. They got it for cheap. So they're able to sell it so low. I've been told from people that is not the case, that they're probably losing between 30 and 40, 45 cents on a gallon by being in the middle of this price war. So here is the perfect example of two companies going at it, competition benefiting the region, right? This is the perfect example of it.
Absolutely, and I think this is a bit of a unique case because there's a history here, and without getting into all the details, there's who's buying property at this site to prevent who from coming in, and who's trying to undercut this one.
And I think that's going on right now in South Utica. There is a battle between Clifford and Stewart's in South Utica. Stewart's is trying to expand, and I think Clifford is trying to prevent them from expanding. Same thing happened over on the Parkway, or Culver Ave.
Culver, yeah.
Same thing happened there. So I just think there's become a history between these two companies, and I believe the same thing happened when Stewart's and Ilion tried to expand. There were certain properties that were bought up around that footprint that were maybe purchased by or Clifford. So I think there is a tension between the two. So one is saying, all right, we're lowering our prices. The other's like, I'm going to go lower than you. And then Stewart's is like, oh, really? Well, look at where we're going.
Yeah.
And now it's at a point where you're saving about $1 a gallon on gas. And I don't know that I see any end in sight. This started on October 28th. It was their grand opening special. And the one thing I would say is, Stewart's, I feel this, and I don't know for
that's
for
a
fact.
new shop? I didn't realize
they
that.
tore it down and they rebuilt it.
Okay.
And it's a completely much larger footprint.
Mhm.
You can go off the street behind Stewart's. You can now drive through and go all the way through. So there's two things that I find interesting. Number one, which is the company that can? Well, let me start with the second point first, and that is somebody said yesterday to me that the reason they're doing this is because you go inside and you buy, hot dog buns and you buy your soda and you buy your stuff. I don't know about that because I'll tell you why. There's no room. The pressure is on you. You're pumping your gas. It's not like you're the only one there. So, I don't mind leaving my car there at the pump or parking somewhere else and walking in. The parking lot is packed. It's almost chaotic. There are people waiting for you to get done pumping so that you leave. Try walking into the store and buying stuff when there are 3 cars behind you waiting to pull into the spot. And there are no spots for you to pull into because there are cars waiting there for you to pull away from the pump. So I don't see people going into the store and buying stuff when I've been there.
Yeah, I think it's a typical, it's a common business practice to lower. You might have a loss leader, as they call it, because you're trying to encourage. But
Correct.
at this level,
this is not.
No,
what's
this
going
is
on.
about trying to undercut your opponent. It's not about getting you to buy a carton of eggs or
It
something.
seems that way. It seems like this is a battle between these two companies.
Yeah.
Now, my second point would be, who's bigger? Who can handle losing 40, 30 cents on a gallon of gas? Who can handle it longer? My guess it would be Stewart's is much larger than Clifford.
Yeah.
Stewart's is across the entire Northeast.
Yeah.
It's a big company. And I would think that Stewart's could hang out longer.
Meanwhile, in Oneida County, where there are 3 to 4 Stewart's locations, people are going, why don't they have a gas war over
Can't
here?
you guys fight up here? Right? Because you're talking about saving $1 on a gallon of gas.
That's really great.
I mean, let me tell you, I got to drive to the Valley today. I will be there.
Find a reason.
Tom Napoli is with Hall of Frames. He's been with Hall of Frames Sports Collectibles for many, many years and is known as, in my opinion, the expert on collectibles and sports especially, and what these collectibles are worth. He's bringing in Andre Reed, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, this Friday from 6 until 8 o'clock. It's going to be huge, and Tom is on the line right now. Tom, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you been?
It would be like if I were to open up a collectible store across the street from you and be like, I'm selling I got Andre Reed 10 minutes before you have him, and I'm doing it for, this is crazy,
Yeah.
this war.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I had no idea that was going on down there.
One would say, is it worth driving down there? Well,
it might be.
At $1 a gallon, yeah.
It clearly is. Yeah, you're looking at like $2.90 a gallon, where a lot of places here are $3.60, $3.70. So yeah,
no, that's crazy.
It is. It is just unbelievable. All right, you get to meet these guys too. You're bringing them in. Who's been your favorite so far that you brought in?
That we brought, man, that's a really hard question to answer because everyone we brought in has been pretty good, or really good. Marv Levy was a great one, only because the night before we got to go to dinner with him and just to hear some of the stories. And he's a 90-something-year-old man. He's been through so much, not just football, but through war. And I mean, he was awesome. I don't know. It's a hard question to answer because when we bring guys in, we make sure that they're good people. We want the people that have great experiences. We don't, because there's guys out there that have, a salty reputation, a standoff reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So when we bring athletes in, we try and make sure that they're also good people, that we know they're going to be good with the fans. They're going to be good, with everybody that shows up. So, I mean, man, there's so many that we brought in. It's hard to really just pick one. I'm
wondering, because I can tell you mine if you tell me yours, who's the one that was the toughest one to bring in? For me, it was bringing in Dynamite. What's his name?
You're going to do this. It was before
Jimmy
my time.
J.J. Walker. J.J. Walker, I will not say dynamite. No. Nope, not going to say it. I'm like, well, J.J., man, that's what everybody knows you for. No, they know me for my comedy. No, they know you from saying dynamite. And he wouldn't talk to people. He wouldn't anything. So have you had any experience like that?
We haven't. Honestly, we have not. I mean, we've been doing this 30 years now, 30-plus years. Now, I've gone to signings, and I've gone to private signings where, guys aren't so great. I mean, we go back as far as doing signings with, Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams and Willie Mays. And I would say Willie Mays and Joe DiMaggio were probably the two worst over the years.
Really?
They were very nice men, but they were notoriously – I mean, that's not really – I'm not speaking out of school. I mean, you could read many of stories that they weren't that they aren't very nice people. Or were very nice people in DiMaggio's case. But that's, I'm not saying they out of school. They were just very difficult people to work with for whatever reason.
Well, I think the reason is they're like looking at what players were making at that point in baseball and what they had made. Although somebody like DiMaggio probably made up pretty well.
Yeah, he did all right. I mean, he did all right after baseball too. So I don't know.
Right.
I never understood why DiMaggio was the way he was.
Yeah.
But he always was a bitter man for whatever reason.
I
don't know why.
I did see. We were in Vegas maybe 10 years ago, and I don't even know. It might have been like Norton, Spinks. There were three legendary. I forget even who they were. Three legendary boxers sitting at a banquet table in the hallway of whatever that casino is, where it has the underground mall, and you're walking through, and it was quiet, and there they are. One was sleeping, the other nobody was getting autographs. It was so sad.
Oh, they were at an autograph table. Yeah.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
sad.
The boxing memorabilia isn't a. It's a very small market. I mean, the boxing fans are strong, but it's not a very huge market.
Yeah, they just put them out. They just put them out. General public, the store, the mall area was quiet. It was later, and it was just very sad to see them just sitting there. And
with our proximity to the Hall of Fame as well, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, I found, because I had some boxing memorabilia I was trying to get rid of, what I found was there are some collectors out there, but not only do they already have that autograph, but they already met him, or they had dinner with him, or they have a personal story that goes with it. So,
whereas baseball is a completely different world. Football is, I would assume, right, Tom?
Absolutely. I mean, the boxing, they're more, they're easier to get to. Unfortunately, a lot of those boxers, they kind of, the same old story. They blew all their money, or they got swindled out of their money, and they're easily accessible. Other than, like the big guys like your Tysons and guys like that have gone on, or Muhammad Ali when he was alive. Yeah, I would say I agree with Jeff. Like, I don't carry much boxing stuff in the store for that reason. Most boxing fans, it's a small group of people, and they already have everybody 3, 4, 5 times, or they've eaten dinner with them, or they've gone to their house, or they picked them up at the airport, or they've kind of, they kind of integrated themselves into that community with the boxers.
Yeah. And all right, so Andre Reed, though, this is a biggie. This is a big deal.
Yeah, Andre Reed, he's a great guy. We actually had him here 6 years ago at our store. And since then, we've worked with him a bunch, and we've actually become pretty good friends with him. I was actually with him last month in Batavia, and I talked about coming down for our grand opening, and he was like, sure. But since then, we've grown our business so much larger, and we have such a big build following now that we figured, yes, let's bring him back.
Yeah.
So, it's now our grand reopening, because like February will be our 32nd year in business.
Wow.
We've had we've had a bunch of different locations. So yeah, but we're really happy to be where we are. We're right on Riscony Street. If you're familiar with like Cartwright or like DDS Motorsports, we're right in between there.
Okay.
It's like 300 yards down from on the same road.
Which puts you puts you in Utica now, right?
Now we're in Utica. We started in Utica, and it looks like we're probably going to finish in Utica. So we started at Riverside Mall. So
yeah,
you young kids that don't know, there was 2 malls at one time.
Yeah. Well, two busy malls at one time.
Yes, 2 busy malls at one time.
It's tough to find a busy mall today.
Exactly, I know.
Crazy. Boy, this is a great spot for, and I'm thinking about, buying for Christmas. Why? Explain and I know the answer to this because a lot of it's about trust. But explain the importance and the difference of going to you versus going up on eBay and buying something offline.
Well, first of all, you're dealing directly with the owner, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you're seeing exactly what you're buying, exactly what you're purchasing. Three, you don't have to worry about your stuff being shipped. You're walking out with it that day.
Yeah.
But integrity is everything. Reputation is everything. You don't know who you're buying from on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you don't know what you're buying
at one point. At one point, 80% of autographs were fake.
Yeah.
You know, on the internet, it's a great way for scammers to hide. I mean, there's so many reasons to come in. We can give you a better price.
Yeah.
Like I say, you don't have to pay the shipping, but integrity is everything. And like I say, our integrity speaks for itself. 32 years in this business. You don't last that long in this business by being swindlers or shysters or rip-off artists. So we're pretty proud of that.
Has football become the big leader in collectibles?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Football is outselling everything. Baseball is always going to be there. I would say that basketball has popped up a lot over the last 3-4 years. Hockey, for whatever reason, always slightly lags behind.
Yeah.
But it's catching up. But the thing that's big now that that we're carrying that we never carried before is soccer. Soccer, MMA. Wow. It's really big. I mean, I never thought 5, 6, 7 years ago that I would be carrying, soccer cards, soccer autographs, MMA stuff.
Right.
But that stuff has become really, really big. I think the soccer market has done a really good job of marketing in the States. It was slow, but eventually they made it here, and it's popular. It's a very popular sport. I don't understand it personally. I never followed it, but it is very popular.
Man, I'm watching the World Cup this week, and only because the U.S. is in it, it's not my thing. And but say that to somebody who's a real soccer fan, and they're ready to punch your lights out.
I get it. I mean, they probably don't understand baseball or football.
That's true. But I have to say the crowds are so enormous for soccer. It's just unbelievable.
And they're fun. They're fun crowds.
Yeah.
They're awesome crowds.
It is.
Like I say, I mean, 1-0 games. It's just I don't know. It's hard. I watch too the same thing. The Curiosity USA's in it, and you're watching it, and it's just it's like it's usually the clock runs down, it doesn't run up. I don't understand
I know. And then when you reach 90 minutes, it's like, all right, it's over. It's like no,
it's not.
Nope.
No,
we're
going to give you
extra time. So and then God forbid the Americans gave up the first goal, and the announcers are like, okay, I guess we're going to pack it in now. It's 1-0.
Yeah, right. Like 1-0.
Wow.
Okay, I guess I'll change the station. But.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so tell us about what happens on Friday.
Oh, so Friday we're going to have a bunch of sales and stuff like that. Obviously for our grand opening, Andre's going to be there from 6 to 8. We have tickets available. You could purchase them at the door, or you could purchase them online, or you can come right in the shop now. If you don't get them by Friday, it's fine. We'll have tickets for people to purchase.
All right.
He'll sign your item. We'll have items there for you to purchase, or you can bring your own item. He'll be taking photos with fans and stuff, and he'll be there from 6 to 8. Really quick, we do have a couple other events coming up. We have Brian Leach also coming January 7th from the Rangers.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to be in store. And then our biggest one that we just signed last night is next Saturday we're going to have Santa Claus signing autographs, taking pictures with the kids.
How about that?
And we got a special appearance from the Grinch is coming.
Okay,
He's going to be
cool.
handing out baseball packs and Pokemon packs to all the kids.
Love it.
But the
That's
Grinch,
next Saturday, April 7th, noon to 2.
You said the Grinch would be there. You going to have your dad down at the shop on Saturday?
My dad's hardly the Grinch.
I'm teasing. I love you, Dad.
Than him.
I'm teasing. I love you, Dad.
I have Wayne with a question for you, Tom. Wayne, go ahead.
Sure. Hey, Tom, I just want to say congratulations for being in the area and surviving through all this crap. And I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on that Mastro guy that pulled that big scam? And do you, in your shop, because you've been there forever, do you still have anything that had been authenticated by him, or were you scammed by him?
I don't have anything that's authenticated by him. I don't know the story fully in depth. I know he did get in some trouble as far as you're talking about the Master auction house you're talking about.
Yeah, you got to go on to American Greed and watch that, and you'll be baffled by the story.
Wow.
Yeah, I know the fringes of it, not enough to comment. I know he did get in trouble. Bill Mastro had been around the hobby for a long time, and I know there's a lot of bad stories about him. But it would be it wouldn't be good for me to comment on something that I'm not fully aware of.
Watch it. You got to watch it.
I will. No, I definitely will now.
Promise. You got to watch it.
Yeah,
All right, Wayne.
I will.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, congratulations again, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, Wade.
All right, Tom. So it's this Friday. Andre Reed, 6 till 8
Eight.
o'clock. And check it out. That'll be big. And, it just so happens to be a really good Buffalo year. Makes it even better.
Yeah. It's always a good Buffalo year. It's a good
It is.
Buffalo area.
Yep. Pretty cool. All right, Tom. Great job. Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time so much. Take care.
All right. Have a
good
great
holiday.
day. Great spot. Great spot for holiday stuff and, getting the gift you want to get somebody. You can always find that special thing. Mazda, Ricky Z, continuing to win awards for performance, safety, and reliability with an increasingly loyal following of drivers enjoying Mazda's incredible engineering. And with a premium interior, it redefines luxury. So, as Rick always says, let's make your deal on a Mazda. See why it's always easy to do business with a family-owned and operated Steep Pawnee Mazda on Commercial Drive. Portions of the program today also brought to you by Fred F. Collis & Sons, Heating and Cooling. This is important that the National Grid has rebates where you could save $1,000 on a boiler, $900 on a furnace, $250 on a tankless water heater. This is about to run out this week on the 9th. So it runs out this week on Friday. You can take advantage of it, and the people at Collis can walk you through the entire process. Just call them, 315-381-8982. They'll walk you through it and help you save money. This money goes away after Friday, so take advantage of it. Fred F. Collis & Sons. The number to call for details is 315-381-8982.
Did you hear about this new gift card? It literally works everywhere.
Everywhere? What do you mean?
Like all the best places. The Taylor and the Cook, Aquavino, Babes.
Whoa, that is a lot.
No, I'm not done. Kookies, Comets tickets, Adirondack Bank Center concessions.
Oh my.
I'm still not done. The Comets and UCFC store, soccer tickets, 72 Tavern.
This one card can do all of that?
Yep, an all-in-one gift card for Utica. And if you buy it now, you get $5 free for every $20 you spend. Get it at uticagiftcard.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
They're voting in Georgia again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In the final 22 contest, a runoff in Georgia.
Vote like health care depends on it. Vote like a woman's right to choose depends on it.
Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock facing a challenge from Republican Herschel Walker, who's trying to keep it a 50-50 Senate.
We got to get in the game, and we can't sit on the sideline anymore.
This race won't decide the balance of power in the Senate. Democrats will have that even if Republican Herschel Walker wins. But if the Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock wins, it not only means Vice President Kamala Harris is no longer needed to break ties, but it could lessen the power of Democrats like Senator